First quarter from Windy Hill, we have a strong northerly breeze blowing towards the left forward pocket at the school end. A chance for the Bombers through Watson. One of the favourites for the Brownlow. Van der Haar, almost a mark. He kicked 5 goals in 1 quarter against Hawthorn. Spalding kicked safely out of defence. Gary Lyon, the target, almost a mark taken by Flintoff. Not paid by the umpire. Yes, he has paid it.
Peter, I noticed that Simon Madden's in the hands of the trainers after that first bounce when Steve O'Dwyer jumped straight into him.
Reminiscent of Don Scott and Gary Dempsey a few years ago. Thompson. And interestingly, Don Scott in the Melbourne coaches box this afternoon. That's what commentators do when they've got a day off. This is Flood, number 28 for Essendon. Pass up towards half forward. Izard scoops it up off the turf. And as I said, the wind is blowing towards that right forward pocket. He'd need to aim for the left goal post. Starting not to have a shot, but what a brilliant pass. And the veteran again, Paul Van der Haar, kicked 5 goals last week, all in 1 quarter against Hawthorn the third.
And allowed plenty of space to work in there, Paul Van der Haar. He usually lists for these big games. He's a big occasion player. And I see that Earl Spalding is picking him up at full back.
And they'll get the distance. There won't be any problems with that. Need to aim for the left goal post. Oh, he might have just squeezed it in. It looks okay to go. First blood to the Bombers. They lead by 6 points.
Yes, and that's where they're very strong at this Essendon side. They've got a lot of pace and running players on this side, and that's why they've played so well during the season. I noticed that Buick is the leading goal kicker with only 31 goals. They do spread the goals around amongst the smaller running players and don't rely on 1 or 2 players to kick the goals.
So Van der Haar strikes first blood. Bounce back in the centre. Essendon get the tap out again. Spalding under pressure. Watson about to run onto it. Love it there for Melbourne. Held when he didn't have it. And he'll take the free kick. He gives a sweeping hand pass. Very wide to Todd Viney. Todd Viney's kick is a beauty. Directly towards goal. But he seems to have picked Mark Thompson out. He drops a mark that he really should have taken. Flintoff. Handball. Gary Lyon, that could have been deemed a throw. The ball in the forward pocket for Melbourne, within scoring distance, but Terry Danaher clears close to the line and eventually goes over, just outside 50 metres. There's Simon Eishold, Terry Danaher, kick it in the picture, the big ruckman, O'Dwyer, and Simon Madden. Oh, that should be a free kick, surely, in the back.
That is as a result of that first centre square infringement when O'Dwyer really jumped into Simon Madden.
The kick goes up to full forward. Hamilton is harassed by Campbell. The ball's still there for Melbourne. Eishold tackle on kick it. And he's been penalised. Now advantage is paid. Hamilton clears back into the centre. It's an Essendon mark taken by Flood.
See that? Is that 50?
It is.
50 against Steve O'Dwyer, who's throwing his weight around in this early part of the first quarter. Cost him a goal.
It certainly has now put the Essendon player, Flood, within goal scoring distance. He's going to kick from about 35 metres directly in front. So it could be a very costly penalty there against O'Dwyer. Here's Flood. A beautiful looking kick. It's there. David Flood kicks Essendon's second goal. The other one coming through Van der Haar. Essendon 2 goals, Melbourne yet to score.
Well, Steve O'Dwyer probably very keyed up for this match. He knows the importance of it. As we have a look at Flood's kick, he was named at full back, has lined up at centre half forward. And Hamilton is playing at full back for Essendon. A very good negator of players is Paul Hamilton.
Back into the centre. Things hotting up here. Viney out of the centre for the Demons towards half forward. They need a goal quickly. And they could get one here through Campbell. Steady, steady enough. He might have just shaved that one on the post. He has.
Well, there's no love lost between the two ruckmen at the moment. Simon Madden charged straight at Steve O'Dwyer and came off second best again.
I'm just watching the two of them. They're at the edge of the centre square. And backhanders have been flying. He's kicked straight out to them. Let's see what happens here. O'Dwyer's got the front posse. Got a couple of hands to the ball. Couldn't bring it down. Thompson now from Buick. Van der Haar. Starting brilliantly. Play continues. Salmon, a clever knock on. Who's there for the Demons? No one. Chance for Brett Lovett. Tingay, almost. No, it wasn't Tingay. The ball was marked almost by Phoebe, but it's out of bounds right on 50 as Watson tracks it over the boundary line for a throw-in, left half forward for Essendon. Bombers doing most of the attacking. Dwyer, one of 3 Melbourne players with those thigh pads that look awkward. Stretch was grabbed when he didn't have the ball. It's a scramble. And the umpire will bounce it. Still 50 metres out from Essendon's goal. The Bombers starting off well with 2 quick goals to Van der Haar and Flood. The latter assisted by a 50-metre penalty against Steve O'Dwyer. Watson on the bottom of the pack. Taps the ball out wide, but still 50 metres from the Bomber goal.
Jimmy Steins has a job of picking up Paul Salmon, and they will probably swap over as the game goes ahead.
Boundary throw in, 50 metres from the Essendon goal. Melbourne defence under pressure. The ball comes out close to the line and it bounces right on the line. Essendon supporters not happy.
I thought it was out, Robbo.
Well, there are only centimetres in it. And the boundary umpire right on the spot there. Madden, good tap out. Buick.
Ball by Dwyer and Madden.
By Buick.
They're at it again.
Ball at centre half forward, collected by Van der Haar. Melbourne may get clear. Short kick by Lovett. They're still gluing behind play, the ruckman. The emergency umpire coming on the ground. Play goes to half forward. Jackson, look at this guy go. Close to the line, the left foot kick. Too far, too hard, and a little too wide. Terry Danaher back there for Essendon. He gets the kick away. It's high. It's very close to the line. It's out on the full. And it's well within scoring distance because Terry Danaher did not hook that ball at all. And probably the best kick in the Melbourne side. No, he's going to have to give it off. Gary Lyon back to Ricky Jackson. But certainly this guy's kicked goals for Melbourne. The short pass is on and it goes to Lyon.
Clever play there by Ricky Jackson, getting it over to Gary Lyon. As you said, Robbo, this man can really kick a football, and you wouldn't want to have it in anyone else's hands other than Gary Lyon with a shot from this angle and distance.
Wonderful young player for Melbourne, Gary Lyon. The kick, that gives you some indication. It could be shepherded through, right on the line, it's touched. But Gary Lyon kicks Melbourne's second score. It's another behind. There's Gary Lyon, kick in by Considine.
Favours the member stand side at Essendon. How high was Phoebe? Running off the ball. Manning. Cransberg. Still outside the centre square. Chance for the Demons. Ball picked up by Brett Lovett, but there's a free kick. And it'll be taken by Michael Long.
Wasn't a good hand. Well, I'm sure it was, Robbo. I thought he was very lucky to get that free kick. But it was a terrible hand pass that really set Michael Long up.
Long to centre half forward. Marking contest, none played. O'Dwyer to Stretch. I think the boos will worry Steve O'Dwyer too much. Gee, that's a great attempt to mark. Not paid by the umpire. Ball very close to the boundary line, and the pack has been pushed over. There's Considine before. Ryan Wilson.
Brilliant kick around his body by Stretch.
And a great bump there by Michael Long on Brian Wilson.
Madden and O'Dwyer again. Two-man war, that one. Ooh, gee. You can do with that sort of stuff. Andrew Manning was on the end of it, I think. That'll be a free kick to Essendon. Manning gets it away pretty quickly. O'Donnell down to half forward for Essendon. Big pack of players there. None can come down with it. Yates almost had control of it. Now it's Lovett again. A throw, says the umpire. Bring the ball back.
How could he tell he was on the negative side of the player? He was right behind him.
Cransberg's going to take the free kick for Essendon at half forward. And with the wind, would need to aim for the left goal post. Salmon making a lead, in fact a couple of them. Now ducks back right into the square. So Cransberg will kick long, or in fact try to. Didn't get the distance he wanted. It's left to Spalding to tidy up.
Oh, he was a bit slow too, Spalding. Yates, kick across his body. Mark to Eishold out there at half back on the 50-metre line for Essendon. Eishold kicks it out towards a vacant wing. Nearly the mark. Now it comes back to Long. Great player, Michael Long. The running skills are incredible. Kick is a beauty. Salmon leads, Long delivers, and Salmon will shoot from 40 metres.
That's probably why Essendon are so good at the moment. Their centre line is brilliant, especially Michael Long, Greg Anderson, and whoever plays in the middle. They can swap the players around there. They're so versatile with their on-ball players.
He's got quick movement, hasn't he, Long?
He certainly has.
Burning over the first 10 or 15. Salmon from 40. And he puts it straight through the centre. Goals for Essendon coming through. Salmon, Van der Haar and Flood. 3 straight. Melbourne 2 behinds.
Well, but the thing I like about this Essendon side, they're not relying on one player to kick all the goals for them. And we've seen it all through the year. As I said, Buick, the leading goal kicker, with only 31 goals, which you would expect more from a top side, such as Essendon, that has some very big wins throughout the season. And yet, that's, I think, where they are so strong with a variety of players.
16 points the difference. And the Demons facing a little bit of a drubbing at the moment, unless they can get their act together pretty quickly. Essendon's attacking zone again. Spalding. He's been a busy player, but the ball's been down there a lot. Danaher in front, punched away by Lyon. Izard, a high kick, only travels about 5 metres. A real up and under job. Jackson roving it well. Jackson from right half-back flank. Kicks to half-forward, and there's plenty of vacant space down there. Big pack of players. None can mark it. At the fall of the ball, though, Essendon's Grenvold. Looks for Madden, knocked away by O'Dwyer. Still no love lost between that pair. Jackson, short kick to right half forward again. Terry Danaher tried to hook it on. We've almost given a free kick away to Healy. Picked up for Melbourne by Flintoff. And Flintoff kicks to half forward with Gary O'Donnell in the road once again. Essendon running the ball well out of defence. That's a free kick on the shoulder, says the umpire, and will be taken by Stephen Stretch at left centre wing.
Stretch, high kick. Into the left forward pocket. Melbourne mark. Considine, no, Campbell's dropped it. Considine seemed to misjudge it. Kick is in short, mark taken by Thompson. Runs across the face of goal confidently and beautifully kicks to kick it. Kick it round to the left, then the right. Oh, look at this go, will you? Derek Kickett, wonderful play. The kick is short, marked by Phoebe. Melbourne rebound to centre half forward. And it's a Melbourne mark taken by Lyon. They've had a share of the ball, though, don't you think, even though it's 3-0?
Yes, they have, Robbo. They're trying very hard at the moment, and they're certainly fired up for this game. A bit of unfortunate play there for Derek Kickett. He slipped as he kicked that ball, and that allowed Stephen Phoebe to take the mark.
So Gary Lyon is kicking from 40. You'll need a 50-metre kick to score. Oh, shocker. Uncharacteristic of Gary Lyon. Out of bounds on the full.
Robbo, he may be kicking into a slight breeze there and probably went for a little bit too much.
The kick in to Hamilton. Real old-fashioned defender. Hamilton doesn't mind if he doesn't get too many kicks himself, just as long as his opponent doesn't get many. The ball comes out now through Considine. Van der Haar gathers it. He's dispossessed well by Hughes. And the ball trundles over the line for a boundary throw in. Hughes and Van der Haar. Good match up there physically, Bernie.
Yes, they're very strong players, both of them.
Throw it on centre wing. O'Dwyer gets front position. Watson was taken high. No free kick. Ball comes out the side of the pack and the umpire will bounce it. Still on centre wing. Bombers 3 goals. Melbourne 2 behinds at Windy Hill. 16 points the difference. Van der Haar and O'Dwyer. Watson's high kick travels to the 50-metre line. Kransberg got a hand to it. Long. Doesn't usually waste a hand pass. Anderson was brilliant last week against Hawthorn. Drills that one for their 4th. 4 goals to the Bombers. Kicking with the wind, but it's not the wind that's getting the goals. It's some pretty good play. 22 points the difference.
Yes, it sure is, Pete. They move the ball so well, this Essendon side. They're very skilled. Michael Long again setting the play up. He's so quick off the mark. The quick hand pass out. Another very quick player in Greg Anderson. And he kicks the ball so very well, either in field play or when he is kicking for goal.
Bounce back in the centre. O'Dwyer gets the tap out, but a big punch by Kickett. Goes to centre half forward. Hughes under pressure. Tries to tap it back to Lovett. Oh, he's under enormous pressure. Van der Haar gets the rebound. Shoots for goal and hooks it a little too far. And the first blemish on the scoreboard for Essendon. 4-1. Melbourne 2 behinds. This is Paul Van der Haar, who's already kicked 1 goal.
It probably ended up a very easy shot at goal, that one, for Van der Haar. He had plenty of time to steady. May have had too much time to steady.
Danny Hughes to kick the ball back into play. Goes slightly to the outer side. No mark. Kick it over the top. Under pressure, Greg Healy. A little slow. Watson. Manning. Into an open goal goes Manning. And he misses as well. So Essendon doing everything right in the first 10 minutes. Last couple of shots just a little bit astray. There's Andrew Manning. They're 4-2. Melbourne are 2 behinds. Now looking at it, they'd need to have probably a 3 or 4 goal lead. Do you think at quarter time?
Ball is standing up into the breeze at the other end, isn't it? Breeze does favour the end to which Essendon is kicking. Madden to kick it. He might have got it to the back of Brian Wilson there. The umpire says no, and it's going to be a bounce just off the edge of the circle. With 12 minutes left in the opening quarter, 24 points the difference in favour of the home side. Essendon keen to make it 9 in a row. Pretty scrambly passage of play. Dwyer finally sockets it off the ground. Healy, a high kick into the breeze, travels only about 30 metres. Considine taps the ball to the ground. Wilson, long hand pass. The recipient is Jackson. Centering kick. Healy needed courage. That Hamilton. Anderson goes or kicks towards the 50-metre line. And the ball taken over the line, was it, for Melbourne by Phoebe. Boundary umpire was right on the spot. We couldn't argue. Healy snapshot. Won't be a score. Campbell almost a mark. Tries to shrug the tackle from Terry Danaher. That's not easy to do. And Gary Lyon has a shot. And he's got it. And Gary Lyon bringing up Melbourne's first goal, a valuable one against the wind. They trail though by 3 goals, 4-2 to 1-2.
Well, he may have been a bit fortunate in the end, and the Melbourne side indeed probably fortunate, because I thought Phoebe was out of bounds over on this side of the ground in front of the Essendon members. But they did battle very hard for that goal, Robbo, and they're certainly giving it everything. Melbourne may be lacking a little bit in class at the moment and can't match Essendon, but giving it everything.
So Melbourne eventually get their first goal. Kickett takes the ball away for Essendon, up towards centre half forward. Salmon tries to flip it to the advantage of Kranzberg. At the back, opportunity for Burns. He can't break clear. Deep in the back pocket, Stretch. And paddling it in front of himself, got a toe poke to it and put it out of bounds on the full. Essendon free kick. The short pass finds Flood. Coming in from Buick. And Flood well within scoring distance.
Yes, he may be kicking slightly into the breeze. You'll have to aim probably at the left goal post.
Gone for the pass, Watson. Improved the angle. Not really closer. But Watson not far away now from directly in front of goal. Timmy Watson, what a champion he's been over the years. High drop punt kick. And it floats away with the breeze. It's through for another behind. So Essendon 4-3, lead Melbourne 1-2 with just under 10 minutes left. There's Billy Duckworth and Dean Wallace there on the bench for Essendon, probably getting some education from the coach with all the messages coming down. The kick in, no mark taken. Opportunity for Wilson. Wilson will clear, goes for the handball. Steins is caught. Irrepressible Essendon. Long hand pass. Flood. It bounces nicely. The angle is difficult. Flood misses to the right.
So Essendon, after kicking 4 goals straight, they've now added 4 behinds without blemish. 4-4 their total. And Melbourne 1-8 points. Burns and Stretch. So there's a few 2-man wars out there today. O'Dwyer and Madden started proceedings off.
There's a free kick down the ground to Steve O'Dwyer, and that's been paid against Simon Madden. They were having their own private war in the centre of the ground.
The rule says he should take it at the 50-metre line, which he does. Gary Lyon chips in. It's a free kick anyway, but he plays on. In towards Bennett. Errant hand pass, intercepted in part by Thompson, but he cuts it over the boundary line to do the job the coach would have wanted.
Interesting, Peter, those 2 free kicks were both paid against Simon Madden. One on Jimmy Steins, that second one, and the first one on O'Dwyer.
You have to ask the question, has Simon been got in? Get your answer on that in just a moment. Thompson soccers off the ground. Kick it, goes through. Didn't take the ball with him. Good hip and shoulder by Greg Healy. Grenville looks for holding the ball. There is none there. Has he been got in, Bernie?
Well, I think he certainly wants to even up after that first bounce when Steve O'Dwyer jumped straight into him. And he's been more intent on evening up than getting the ball.
Madden goes at it this time. And the ball beating Greg Healy out of bounds. Still 50 metres from the Melbourne goal. 8.5 minutes left in the opening quarter, which has been rather eventful. Madden, and there's his adversary O'Dwyer. Kick it. Couldn't take it. Thompson again soccers off the ground. To the benefit of his side. Maybe, yes. Buick read it beautifully. Got a couple of options there. Flood or Watson. Taken by the former. Oh, is that a push in the back? Salmon looks for it. Hughes got away with it. So well played, Danny Hughes. Kicks to centre wing. Spalding. Tingo. Dragged down. And Gary Lyon stands and watches after the free kick could have been paid.
Well, great work there by the veteran Terry Danaher.
They're lacking confidence though, Melbourne, Bernie, aren't they?
Well, they're trying things, Ian, but you know, they tried to get the handball on quickly there, but Essendon are just so intense at the moment.
O'Dwyer wins out. Tingay tackled well by Buick, picked up by Jackson. Short kick. Thompson a juggle. The ball will come back though.
It's a throw against Melbourne.
And the free kick to be taken by Darren Buick, and Buick will take it just short of the right centre wing position.
Buick's kick is a nice long one up to the 50-metre line. Kransberg can't mark. At the back, Spalding. Hand pass is too far for Hughes. Or there could be round the neck. No. Play on, says the umpire. Van der Haar tries to tap it out. Steins is too slow. Essendon. Gee, they're going for everything. Van der Haar caught with the ball. Love it. Gets the handball back. Steins forced to kick with the left foot. Goes out to half-back. The punch goes inside 50 metres. Now Melbourne under pressure again. Jackson. Burns for Essendon. There's Van der Haar. Gets the handball away. Now an opportunity for Kickett. Paddles the ball in front of himself. And in the back, surely against Stretch.
That's got to be.
See, that was undisciplined stuff.
Undisciplined. I think Danny Hughes tried to trip him in the first place.
The ball was going to go out anyway, wasn't it?
Yep, it was too.
Kickett, who is a left footer, he's going to kick it with the right. Oh, shocker. No words need be spoken.
No, he kicked it like a left footer, didn't he?
What foot did you kick with, Bernie?
Danny Hughes kicks well against the wind. Burns late on the scene. Eishold will look for a free kick. Umpire didn't pay any. Eishold decides to play on. Kicks it just off the edge of the centre square. O'Dwyer might have been the target, but he was late arriving. Considine. High. Anderson up high. Well, good bump by Kickett. Lost sight of the ball. Bennett. A hurried hand pass. Chance for Flintoff. Flintoff against the breeze. Couldn't find the player. Buick might have been taken high by Healy. A couple of chances at that free kick.
If he's still got the football, why shouldn't he be penalised?
For holding the ball.
Of course.
Well, he initially lost it, actually, Buick, in that first tackle. And it didn't end up with him, Ian.
So a good decision possibly for the bounce. Madden. Thumbs clear, but only to see Healy grab it, but kick it out of bounds on the full. So the Demons blazing away without too much system down there at the moment. And a free kick to be taken in the left back pocket for the Bombers by TD, number 5, the most laconic man in football. Danaher from back pocket left. Wobbly punt. O'Dwyer in front. Strong mark in front of Madden. Won't get anything more than the mark and kick.
Right in front of the social club.
Yeah, that was a great mark by Big Steve O'Dwyer. A strong mark. It was a wobbly kick.
There's another one. Tried to find Gary Lyon. He gets taken out of it. Healy. Watson. Kick it. Gets around his teammate O'Donnell. Jackson giving some pretty good stick in the chase department. But this is Grenvold at Essendon again clear.
Grenvold's kick is disciplined to centre half forward. Mark to Salmon. No. Just dropped it. Anderson gets his right foot to the ball. Good play. Up to full forward. Opportunity for Burns. He's tackled by Lovett. Oh, that could have been round the neck. Umpire's letting play go on. Salmon goes to Long, and Long unselfishly goes to Watson, who is only 20 metres out, maybe a little bit further, on a 45-degree angle.
The emergency umpire has been out again, speaking to Steve O'Dwyer and Simon Madden after O'Dwyer was dumped down on the Melbourne forward line.
Plenty happening here in the first quarter at Windy Hill. Melbourne obviously pumped up. Desperate game for them. Just clinging to a place in the 5. Watson, kicks badly for Tim Watson, really, because it wasn't a difficult shot.
6 behind straight. They've kicked now after 4 goals on the trot.
4-6-1-2. Melbourne should clear now. Todd Viney, too far for Eishold. He's able to tap it in front of himself, kick it. Oh, good play over there on that outer half-back area. And eventually it's paddled over by Derek Kickett and Simon Eishold for a boundary throw-in. It's between wing and half-forward, slightly favouring Essendon. They've had 10 scoring shots to 3, the Bombers, and they've shared the ball around beautifully. Their midfielders playing very well. Opportunity for O'Donnell, dispossessed by Viney. Back goes Eishold. Salmon in there for the Bombers. The umpire calls for a bounce.
Still on the centre wing, outer side. Simon Eishold, the last to get up. We've got 3 1/4 minutes left of the opening term. Not the most straight bounce you'd find. Steins kicks towards Jackson and Thompson, but it beat both of those players over the line for a throw-in. But importantly for Melbourne, gaining about 25 metres. Madden and O'Dwyer, let's see what they can do here. Gary Lyon beat both of them over the top. Chance for Tingay and Long. Long wins, taps to Watson. O'Donnell, short kick out of the pack, only to see Yates. You get a mark or free kick. Yates at the left half-back flank for Melbourne. Goal would be handy here before quarter time to the Demons. Campbell on a lead and mark. Strong grab. Gets dumped. Is that 50?
Yes.
Campbell accentuating the bump. Felt it. Went over. And suggesting it wasn't there. But he made sure the umpire saw it. So he'd now be within kicking distance, whereas he wasn't before. We've already seen Flood for Essendon take a mark and get a 50-metre penalty, which resulted in a goal. So Campbell might be able to square the ledger. And he's kicked it. So a valuable one for the Demons, close to quarter time. Their second goal, 4-6 to 2-2 at Windy Hill.
Yes, it was a valuable goal. They needed that one badly. Essendon have controlled the first quarter completely, and only for some inaccurate kicking there towards the end of the quarter. Here's the free kick again. There was a push, and I think eventually there was an accidental trip. There wasn't a lot in it, Robbo, but the umpire was there right on the spot. They haven't been paying a lot of those 50-metre penalties lately, but he picked out that one.
Essendon by 16 points with just under 2 minutes left. Melbourne a chance again. It's up in their half-forward area. Flintoff gives it off. Greg Healy, left foot shot by Greg Healy. He's going close to the goal line. A mark, Jackson. What a great mark by the little guy.
Thompson took off before nominations and Jackson stood there and grabbed it.
Well, he never took his eyes off the football. And Melbourne getting it out of the centre through their captain. And it really was a terrific mark taken by Ricky Jackson right on the goal line, and he couldn't miss from there. He doesn't. So Jackson, bit of a Melbourne revival in the second half of this first quarter. Essendon kicked 4 goals before Melbourne had kicked their first, and since then the Demons have added 3.
Well, I think John Northey would be very happy that Melbourne were so close to Essendon at this stage of the game, because really Essendon have dominated the first quarter. They've had so many possessions, and yet Melbourne are only 10 points behind the strong Essendon combination.
Simon Madden being spoken to by the umpire. The emergency umpire has been out to Steve O'Dwyer after the initial bounce in this match. 10 points the difference. 2 quick goals to Melbourne. The Demons are back in this quarter. O'Dwyer taps down, albeit not very far. Buick's kick travels only a couple of metres. There's a free kick to Melbourne. It'll be taken by Earl Spalding.
Essendon have had 9 free kicks to 6.
And the ball will be brought back, unfortunately for the Demons, after Healy had taken the mark on right centre wing. And maybe Spalding this time will kick long. Or in fact, the wrong player took the kick, to be taken by Phoebe, who kicks from the edge of the square. Wilson, O'Donnell, Jackson, O'Donnell again. Quick kick, and he did it well. Found the teammate at Kransberg. Kransberg relaying the hand pass pretty quickly to Anderson, and Anderson kicks to position brilliantly on a lead. Salmon, centering kick, a wobbly punt, just the same. Danny Hughes in the road. Steins does the tidying up work from back pocket right. Wilson late on the scene. Anderson could have marked, should have marked, does get his kick, and well played. Healy, Buick Ducks into trouble almost. Salmon. Oh, brilliant tap onto Kransberg. Left foot will be off target. Knocked down by Buick, but there's a goal. Put through by Flood. It's his second.
Well, some excellent team play there by Essendon. Firstly, Paul Salmon out on this boundary line. Only 11 seconds remaining in the quarter. Paul Salmon to get the tap to Kransberg. There's a tap, the first tap from Paul Salmon. And look at this from Alan Izzard. He couldn't mark it. He was out of position, but got his hand to the ball and knocked it to Flood, who kicked a very easy goal.
So not a bad goal there for Essendon. Just very close to the quarter time siren. They get it out again through Buick. Kransberg. Phoebe. There's the siren. So it really was a valuable goal in the dying seconds of the first quarter. Essendon lead at quarter time by 16 points. Bombers 5-6, Melbourne 3-2.
Back.
Second quarter begins at Windy Hill. 16 points the difference in favour of the home side. Flood, can he make it 3 goals? He kicked 2 in the opening quarter, and his tally is now 2 goals, 1. He was named in defence, started at centre half forward, David Flood, and is certainly doing the job so far. The two protagonists, Dwyer and Madden, both have been spoken to by umpires so far. More to happen, I'm certain. Long and Steins, the long and the short of it. And it comes to Flood again. He's proving more than nuisance value down there for John Northey, but Danny Hughes, safe in defence, takes the mark. Goes out wide, finds Lovett. The hand pass, he's on a stretch at right half-back flank. High kick. Up to centre wing, Grenvold. Then Flintoff. Phoebe carts the ball out, and boundary throw-in will take place on centre wing.
Gee, again, it was a terrific kick by Stretch, wasn't it? From the back pocket, he's kicked it to the wing.
Maybe that wins stronger than we thought, Robbo. It's certainly favouring the end to which Melbourne are going this quarter. Healy. Terry Danaher. Oh, nearly lost his strides. Alan Izzard. Thompson out of defence. Almost dragged down, still going. Salmon, too tall. Wilson trying to pick it up. Now he gives it to Anderson. Probably the worst man he could have picked out. He was best on the ground last week against Hawthorn in a brilliant display, and the ball beating Yates and Buick. The 2 number 8s out of bounds. We'll see a throw in.
Boundary throw in will take place about 45 metres from the Essendon goal. O'Dwyer and Madden. They look as though they're going to be at it all day long. Buick. Back goes Lovett, defending grandly. Quick kick. Unfortunately for him, on the end of it is Stephen Phoebe. Victorian representative. Stephen Phoebe has played pretty well for Melbourne over the last 2 or 3 seasons. Long kick towards the wing position. No mark taken. Salmon's there. Kick off the ground by Terry Danaher. Goes back to Todd Viney. Viney's high left foot kick to centre half forward. Getting underneath it and taking a great mark. The ever reliable Mark Thompson. Handballs off to Watson. Watson, ever creative, gives it further to Hamilton. Hamilton back to Watson, who's continued to run on from half back. Watson's long kick into the square. Essendon mark, no. Back goes Buick. He's hemmed in by Yates. Tries to handball the ball back, but he can't. It'll be a boundary throw in.
I'm going to call a news conference when Watson doesn't find another player with either a foot pass or a hand pass. He never misses, does he?
Well, as I said, he's always looking, Peter, which is something that comes from experience, I guess.
Very creative, isn't he?
Madden taps down. Healy out of the fence. High kick. Danaher in front. Lion fist clear. Thompson can score a goal. If he goes long, he goes short instead. But he's found Burns, and Burns marking well within kicking distance. Has a chance to bring up his first goal for the day.
Perfect delivery there from Mark Thompson. In between a couple of Melbourne players. Burns just very fortunate probably to take the mark, but then again, great skills from Mark Thompson.
Thompson, of course, missing more than a year with a knee injury. Burns shot at goal. Leaves nothing to be desired. Full points. We'll put the assist down to Mark Thompson. Bomber Thompson up from the back line. Essendon 6-7 now, and Melbourne 3-2.
Very impressive, this Essendon side, and there's no doubt in my mind, though, we'll be playing off for the flag. And it's only a matter of who against, probably Collingwood at this stage, but they are very impressive. Their on-ball players are magnificent, and they have 2 very good tall players as well, Simon Madden and Paul Salmon.
23 points the difference after that goal by Burns. Kick it, the hand pass, effective. Izzard up into the scoring zone again, thumped away by Danny Hughes. Anderson through some pretty heavy traffic, kicks from outside 50 against the wind into the square, and Graham Yates this time clears the ball for the Demons.
Yates has got Tingay, but he's going to be run down by Long. Spalding, hand passes too far for Yates. One of the things that I've been impressed with so far is that every Essendon player, no matter whether it's deep in their forward line or deep in defence, are prepared to chase and tackle and harass.
They are totally committed, and there we saw Michael Long, not only a very skilled player but very good on the tackling as well.
O'Dwyer gets it down, fighting for it. Now it comes out, goes back towards the centre wing area. Nearly a mark to Wilson, but Thompson's there, gets the handball to Danaher. Danaher's short pass is too short, the mark taken by Lovett.
Well, Kickett's standing still there, doing the wrong thing. You can't expect to get the ball and stand there and wait for it to come to you.
The kick falls short, Eichhold marks, left foot kick is a shocker. Goes back after it, too slow. Steins could be run down, gets his left foot to the ball to centre half forward. Greg Healy punched away, Izzard. Short kick by Izzard, wide, in front of Van der Haar. Hughes is close by. Van der Haar does well. Gets past Hughes. The left foot kick by Van der Haar to centre half forward. O'Dwyer can't mark. Essendon have got the players. When the ball hits the ground, it's Burns. Short pass is effective. Mark taken by Kransberg.
Now, this is a great example of team play.
Melbourne player, is it Yates?
Yes, it's Yates who's injured. I think he's okay, but Steve O'Dwyer, desperate to spoil that ball, came over the top, and as a result, Graham Yates suffering the injury.
Kransberg from only 25 metres out, directly in front. The left foot kick is straight. Kransberg kicks his first goal, and he becomes the 6th Essendon player to kick goals. The only multiple scorer for them is David Flood, who's got 2.
Yes, and that probably that passage of play was as good as you'll ever see. There's Steve O'Dwyer straight over the top of his teammate Graham Yates. Good desperation by Steve O'Dwyer, probably doing the right thing, had his eyes on the ball. Unfortunately, Graham Yates was underneath him.
Well, the Bombers making a mockery of the wind advantage. Melbourne yet to score in this second term, and Essendon have got 2. They go to centre half forward through the ruck knockout. Phoebe overruns it. Essendon again force it forward. Play by Burns, desperate stuff. Opportunity to Grenvold. He gets the handball away. Flintoff collects the ball and kicks it back to half forward. O'Donnell leads in the race for the ball. Right foot kick. He's usually left footer. Oh, over the top Hughes. Could have been penalised. Oh, long on Tingay. Brilliant. Just never giving in, Essendon, no matter whether they're disadvantaged. And Kickett being attended to by a trainer, maybe a sore arm. It obviously reassures that trainer that he's okay.
It's a good tackle by Danny Hughes. Was excellent commitment there. Number 10, he's opposite is O'Donnell, gives it to Long. Thumbs out the hand pass. Izzard back to Long, chased by Jackson. Flood again.
Absolutely brilliant play. 50-metre penalty has been paid as well, and that's against Earl Spalding, which will make this a certain goal to Essendon, right on the goal line.
Well, Flood's already got 1 goal assisted by a 50-metre penalty as Kickett goes off the ground. That was his first of the day. He took a mark.
Here's the free kick again, the 50-metre penalty, and there again, not a lot in that at all.
That was Ticky Touchwood. He would have kicked it anyway, I think, so it won't make much difference. But Flood's third goal. 2 from 50-metre penalties, 8-7 to 3-2. It's a bath at Windy Hill.
Yes, all of a sudden, the Essendon machine's in top flight at the moment, and a 35-point advantage is very good at this time. 16 points at quarter time. And look at that play there from Michael Long again. He's a magnificent footballer. Derek Kickett off the ground after that tackle by Danny Hughes. He's probably feeling a bit sore after that bump.
35 points the difference now after Flood's third goal. Salmon in the ruck now, taps down. Not very far, certainly. Missed by Spalding going through. Jackson looks for a free kick. Could have got one. Arguably should have got one. Long. Out of the centre. Amazing pace. Kransberg gets tackled, possibly too high. Kransberg to take the free kick at right half forward flank.
Do you think he was lucky to get that one, Robbo?
Well, I looked,
thought he
Bernie,
ducked.
because I really thought that the Melbourne player could have been rewarded for holding the ball.
I certainly agree.
Cransberg kicks to Anderson, who really is no near a goal. Anderson again going short. It's like practice match drill here at the moment. It's a mark to Danaher, who clears the cobwebs. Yeah, just took a nice grab, mate, and she'll be right.
Well, if there's anything 50 metres should be applied there as the instance, because Danny Hughes certainly wasn't going for the ball in my mind.
Terry Danaher from 30 metres. Drop punt kick, holds up in the breeze, but it gets the distance and it's straight. Terry Danaher kicks his first goal and becomes the 7th Essendon player.
Well, it's interesting, Robbo. Where is Terry Danaher playing? He was at centre-half back, yes. He's ran back down to centre-half back. And there's the mark. He's up on the forward line, up on the half-forward line. And as we often see, Gary O'Donnell runs down the ground and kicks goals from the half-back line. And we were saying earlier in the match, they certainly do share it around. Well,
they're getting the ball out of the centre. They're going to do it again. Watson, Buick, handballs to no one in particular. Considine under pressure. Opportunity for Manning, couldn't get through. Considine underneath it, held by Eishold. Eishold appealing for the free kick. But umpire Dennis Rich, having nothing of that, calls for a bounce. Earl Spalding looking a little worse for wear as he picks himself up. Bounce on centre wing. Favours Steins. Bounce is unfavourable for Melbourne. Manning underneath it. Gets the hand pass back. Collection by Watson. Now Melbourne have a chance. Campbell, no one to give it to. Runs into 2 or 3 Essendon players, which included Manning. Now Considine running one way then the other. Eventually onto the right foot. Look at that kick hold up. Tingay interfered with by Long, and Tingay will take the free kick. Tingay on centre wing to kick Melbourne into their forward half.
Still 3-2, which was their tally at quarter time. So not a good quarter for the Demons so far. Out of bounds at left half forward flank. They did a couple of quick goals, and indeed they started the first quarter the same way. They came back with a couple of late ones in the opening term. They need some more now. Bennett in front, haven't seen him get a touch so far. Buick kicks high, might be out of bounds on the full. Oh, it just bounces inside.
Melbourne making a change. Peter Road getting stripped down on the boundary line, and the player to come off is Phoebe.
41 points the difference as we await the throw in. Salmon and Steins. Salmon wins it down to Watson. And for once he didn't find a player after a possession. Flintoff kicks past Considine up inside 50. Thompson goes the punch. Chance of a shot at goal by Todd Viney.
Gee whiz, Peter, he should have given it off then. He had 2 players, one in particular, Ricky Jackson, out on his left. Could have run straight into an open goal.
Their first score of the quarter. 15 minutes left in the term. Gary O'Donnell. Considine and Tingay. Indeed, Considine was taken high. Healy goes down. Tingay kicks right on 50. Might go close to a score. Jackson courageously runs at the ball. Has he taken the mark? I think he has. Now,
very tight angle, Pete.
Couldn't be much tighter. Bernie looking for options. Ricky Jackson. Oh, he's holding the ball now. He's going to run around. Thought he might have been going to try the banana kick.
Kicked it.
He's kicked a goal. Jackson's second goal and Melbourne's first for the second quarter. They trailed 9-7 to 4-3.
They still are in a lot of trouble across the centre, with even though Phoebe's been taken off the ground. As we have a look at that mark again from Ricky Jackson right on the goal line. As I said, Phoebe's off the ground. Road is now playing on Greg Anderson on the wing. But really, they're getting so much drive out of the centre of the ground. It's very hard to see how Melbourne can get back into it at the moment.
Essendon have a commanding lead. Steins gets the ball out of the centre for Melbourne, up towards full forward. Opportunity again for Viney. He taps it towards Jackson. Jackson held when he didn't have it. Oh, play on.
Good decision. The free kick was actually paid against Jackson. He got the ball, threw it out in front of him.
Okay, the ball goes out towards Manning. Gets around Road. Manning, left foot kick towards centre wing. There's a push in the back. And the free kick will go to Melbourne. The Brollies raised in the outer, indicating that there's light rain falling here at Windy Hill. Showers were predicted for this afternoon. Another free kick picked out of it. It's going to Melbourne to be taken by their full forward, Darren Bennett.
That was much too high over the shoulder against Paul Hamilton.
Bennett too far out to score. He's over 55 metres. He's going for the torpedo punt kick. It slews across his body in towards centre half forward, and the mark easily taken by Paul Salmon. Salmon looking for a player to give it off to. He finds one in Izzard, who runs out of that back pocket beautifully. Izzard's kick out towards centre wing, and there's a good mark. An excellent mark taken by Thompson at half-back for the Bombers. So we had excellent conditions for the first quarter and a half, but now some rain falling. Viney can't take the ball. Van der Haar can. Can he get clear? He gives the hand pass away to Grenvold. Grenvold's left foot kick towards the half-forward position. Lovett gets back from Melbourne, gives the hand pass away out to Steins. Steins kick around the corner, mark to Healy. Melbourne now forging into their centre half forward position. The high kick, no mark taken. Bennett off the ground. A toe poke, but collected beautifully by Izzard. The rebound footy. Bombers could score a goal here. Izzard running up towards the centre position. Gives it to Danaher. Danaher from outside 50. A high kick goes back into the full back position, and the mark taken by Yates.
Steins on the end of the hand pass. Healy in front of Anderson. Is that 50? Might be. Yes, it is. Well, we were informed during the week that discussions with David Parker and the umpires could result in sterner action on the 50-metre penalties. It's been that way this afternoon. We've seen 3 of them, and 2 have resulted in goals to David Flood for Essendon. Flintoff trying to get clear as the rain still falls, and we'll see a bounce inside 50 for the Melbourne side. Let's go down to Michael Roberts. Phoebe is off the ground. Michael, what happened to him?
Yes, Phoebe limped off. He's had to drop his footy, Nicks, actually, and put ice on a groin, and kick it from Essendon. Has had his left shoulder rubbed. He should be okay.
A bounce inside 50. Lyon. The Demons badly need a goal here. That'll go close, but doesn't score. Out of bounds on the full. Considine to take the free kick for Essendon. Left back pocket. Campbell stands the mark as the rain tumbles down. Only a shower. Should clear us shortly. Steins, good punch away from the back. Road from a standing start. Kicks into the pocket, but the whistle has gone. And we might see a boundary throw-in, I think. In fact, that is the case.
I think Peter Road may have run over the boundary line before he kicked it.
Exactly, yeah. Now it's about 60 to 65 metres out from the goal. Salmon and Steins do battle in the ruck. Ball kicked towards goal. Campbell. Can he get another boot to it? He has. That's not a bad effort. It looks okay. It's through. Tony Campbell putting through his second goal for Melbourne, and did they need that one? 9-7 to 5-3 at Windy Hill.
Well, they're still battling very hard, Melbourne. Tony Campbell, their best forward at the moment with 2 goals, along with Ricky Jackson, a forward pocket rover. And they're very good play, good thinking by Campbell, getting his boot to it before Buick could do anything about it. But they certainly haven't got the class to go with Essendon at the moment.
The ruckman do battle in the centre. Steins too fierce to Lyon. Manning. Lovett's held. He hasn't got it. Don't believe it. Melbourne get up towards centre half forward position. No mark taken. Back goes Flintoff. And he's been rewarded for his efforts with a free kick. He's between the centre and centre half forward. Gives the hand pass. Lovett, who's come up from half back. Drop punt kick to full forward. No mark taken. Wilson had it fed down his throat but fumbled, and the ball hurried over the boundary line by Gary O'Donnell. O'Donnell doing a pretty good job there on Wilson. Wilson yet to have a kick. He's had 3 hand passes. Salmon. It could be an Essendon free kick to Danaher. No. Against Eyeshield, umpire calls for a bounce. 9-7 plays 5-3, and we are 10 minutes away from half-time. There's Eyeshield and Danaher. Terry Danaher just breaking away from a bunch of players there. The bounce is about 20 metres from the Melbourne goal. Bennett doing the ruck work. Back goes Viney. He's able to get his foot to the ball. He hooks it across his body, but not far enough. And it goes out of bounds on the full. The free kick to be taken in the back pocket by O'Donnell. He kicks it short. Buick has marked between the back pocket and half back. Buick's kick long towards centre wing. No mark to Steins at the back. Opportunity now for Spalding. Can't get through Anderson. Thompson, big punch. Flood over the top. Watson's on the end of it. Unselfishly and creatively. Van der Haar running up to 50. Left foot kick by Van der Haar to the goal front. Madden.
Burns. Here's kick one. Stalemate. No free kick. Burns almost clear. So near. Let's watch it again. Was he tripped?
Or was he pushed in the back?
Or was it high? Anyway, the umpire said none of that. Certainly not all of the above. Demons defending desperately in the second quarter. And again, a stalemate.
Manning pleading for another free kick there. He thought Danny Hughes may have fallen into his back.
I don't think the umpire's all that game to give one in front of goal.
Dwyer. Watson wins it out. Thompson. Spalding. Lyon. Goes for the boundary line, and Peter Road out of bounds in front of him. So the Demons, after all that, have possibly gained some 10 metres at most.
Derek kick it back on the ground and Kransberg off.
8.5 minutes left in the half. Dwyer, a fresh air shot.
Now that was too high, surely.
Manning is the Essendon player underneath it.
The umpire will not play a free in front of goal. You're right, Robbo. I'm sure
He's
if it had
got to
been
play a free kick here eventually, doesn't he?
For the obvious, perhaps. Dwyer's taps down. Could have been one for that. Viney. Long with the win for Melbourne. Up to the edge of the centre square. And great mark taken by Considine. He'll give the hand pass away to Danaher. Terry Danaher's kick should find Manning. It does. Anderson around Lyon. Stretch, one-handed. Can't mark. Manning out the half forward. He kicks it goal. Kick it. Has he got it? No. Hamilton. Van der Haar. Beautiful smother down there. Melbourne's defence has certainly tightened up. And still, he won't get a free kick in front of goal.
It's been a great example of high-pressure football at the moment. Some tremendous tackling by both sides.
So another bounce, and we've seen about 4 of them in the last minute and a half, almost in the same spot. Dwyer taps down. That was Thompson. Kick goes across goal. Long. Well tackled by Tingay. Watson. Hardly wastes a kick. What's he done with this one? Can't find kicker. Now finally a free kick going Melbourne's way. It'll be taken by Stephen Stretch. The advantage well played. Oh, Viney went down pretty heavily and decides to go on with it with Burns. There's a decent old whistle behind play with that pair. And finally they're dragged apart. Play continues upfield. The rain clears and this is Buick.
Buick. Left foot kick is a beauty. Manning. Hughes minding the mark. That's what you're supposed to do. Supporters screaming for 50 metres. Manning's short pass marked by Lovett. So Melbourne across the half-back line have been under enormous pressure in the last 5 minutes. The kick goes wide. Lyon takes the mark. Kick towards centre wing. Mark to Campbell. A long, long way down. Handball over the top to Stretch. He's got the chance to run. Then he's forced to kick quickly. Now up towards half forward in the pocket. And the mark is taken back there by Terry Danaher. He very, very calmly and confidently kicks it into centre half back. The mark taken by Thompson. Two great players for Essendon over the years, Thompson and Danaher. His kick goes out in front of Grenvold. He could be run down. Taken off it. Handball comes back to Lovett. Essendon supporters screaming for a free kick.
They'll get one here.
And they'll get one now because Brett Lovett's kick is out of bounds on the full. And it'll go back there to Gary O'Donnell. 9-7 to 5-3, 5.5 minutes before half-time, and O'Donnell plays on. He doesn't mess around, Gary O'Donnell. Drop punt kick towards centre wing. Steins goes back, too tall for Kickett, and he takes the mark in front of that Essendon player. Just a little how do you do there between Kickett and Yates.
Brian Wilson's been replaced too by Heaver. Hardly had a touch in this first half, Wilson.
Steins kick up towards half forward. Heavers into the action quickly. Watson, a little flip out to Hamilton, to Izard. Oh, a little too smart there. Lyon chips in. Left foot kick by that player gives Bennett the mark 55 metres from goal. He's going to kick quickly. Delivers the ball to the front of the goal square. No mark taken back there by Campbell. Far too early. And it goes through for a behind to the Melbourne side. Melbourne 5-4, trailing Essendon 9-7. And there's 4.5 minutes left in this second quarter.
Essendon's leading goal kicker has gone off the ground too. That's Flood, and he's been replaced by Kransberg. Is that inside the boundary line? Hamilton has just dragged it in inside the line. Flintoff stands the mark. Hamilton at the right half-back flank for the Bombers. Target is Van der Haar and also Madden. None can bring it down. Bennett just about caught. Still got his kick in. Flintoff. High kick, going pretty close. He's got it. Great kick. Flintoff brings up Melbourne's 6th goal. They trail by 21 points, 9-7 to 6-4.
Well, that was a great goal there by Flintoff. Well, we look in the replay again. Melbourne have lifted their desperation. Flintoff didn't have much time to get the ball to his boot, but very quickly. Great thinking there by Flintoff, and a badly needed goal for the Demons.
So back into the centre, Flintoff's first goal. Right on 4 minutes left in the half. Can Melbourne get another one before half time? Healy goes down, met pretty solidly, and will come up with the free kick. There's a wrestle, another one between Madden and O'Dwyer. Well, that was a decent old one, I can tell you. Having the glasses on that. Need 4 eyes here, long, and they're still fighting. Gives it over to Buick. Back to Van der Haar. He gets whipped pretty solidly by Tingay. Ball spills out for Michael Long, and they're going on with that as well.
Kick going to Van der Haar. What was that for?
I missed that. I just followed the ball there, Robbo.
Unless it was too high, one of those 3 players may have hit him a little high, but he was certainly caught with the football. Madden and O'Dwyer are still dusting.
Yep. And O'Dwyer and Madden. Now the free kick's going
O'Dwyer's way.
O'Dwyer's way.
Well, Essendon supporters are going to leave this ground today disgusted, I would think.
Oh, well, I can't work it out with Madden and O'Dwyer. That was 50-50.
Tinga. He was, I must admit. Jackson. Good tap on. Now a chance for Aishol. He's within scoring distance and gets it. Simon Aishol brings up his first goal, and a badly needed one for the Demons, and they're back in this once again. 9-7 to 7-4. Here's something for trial by video, perhaps. Madden having a few words to Anderson. I'll tell you what, they'd be in the wash-up. Could be interesting, Robbo.
Well, now the umpire is obviously telling the big red-headed, spirited Demon ruckman to settle down and play footy.
Madden wearing the scars of battle, I did see.
They're both bleeding from the nose, and O'Dwyer also.
Well, he's doing a pretty good job for his side, Steve O'Dwyer. Down he goes.
That had to be a free kick.
Melbourne are scoring goals while Essendon are being caught by this stupid play. The ball on centre wing. No one can break clear. Now Buick gets it out from Manning. Buick's kick goes wide. Anderson running onto it. Lyon behind. Handball goes to Watson. Watson backs himself. Runs past Spalding. Up inside 50. Watson goes for goal. It's close to the line. And it goes through for a behind to Essendon.
That's 3 behinds to Tim Watson. I can't work out. Oh, there's another fight on behind play.
Salmon back there.
Salmon and Steins, is it? Yeah, Jimmy Steins on the bottom of that.
And Salmon not happy there with Yates.
Policeman not doing. He's got a hand in it as well.
He's not interested, is he?
No.
Van der Haar's nearly had his jumper pulled off his back by Jimmy Steins. Emergency umpire into it, crowd into it. It's all action at Windy Hill in the match of the day. Essendon and Melbourne. The Demons have shown some fight, Bernie, because...
Well, this has been one of the fieriest encounters I've seen all season. And especially with O'Dwyer and Simon Madden, they've had their own private battle right from the word go.
The kick-in went to Gary Lyon. His kick in turn goes to centre wing. Melbourne into attack again. Love it. Kick out in front of Viney. Goes too far. Off the ground by Grenville. Wide to half-back. Grenvold leads in the race. He's going to be run down, but he does it pretty well, David Grenvold. O'Donnell taps it to himself and then kicks it close to the boundary line over for a throw-in between wing and half-forward favouring the Demons.
I'll tell you what, Robbo, the emergency umpire will be worn out.
He's covered more ground than the two runners put together, hasn't he?
A minute and 3/4 before half-time. Melbourne making a surge at the Bombers.
O'Dwyer and Madden. Bennett over the top. There's a free kick, this time going to Madden. Much to the delight of the Essendon supporters.
Free kicks 15 to Essendon, 12 to Melbourne.
Madden's kick marked by Rode. Two number 41s were there. Manning. Cransberg tracks it across the boundary line right on centre wing. So a throw in to take place. Scoreboard in favour of Essendon, 62 to 46. But Essendon, of course, got the first 4 goals of the game, and then they added the next 6 behind. Madden taps down. Manning. Izard. Rogue. Up towards full forward. Grenvold. Kicks the ball out of danger, only momentarily. Here he marks and plays on right on 50. He's gone for a short pass, tried to find Campbell. Heaver attempting to tap it forward, didn't hit it far enough. And again in front of goal, we'll see a stalemate, as was the case at the other end of the ground.
Gee, they were stiff then. Heaver just got his hand to the ball, couldn't really move it effectively to tap it in front of Campbell.
Off the hands of Considine and Campbell that time, and 1 point is the end result. Half a minute to go before half-time. Scoreboard shows 9-8 now to 7-5. 62 plays 47, half a minute to go.
Well, Melbourne outclassed in the first half of the first quarter, made a comeback. Same in this second term. Though at one stage they were about 6 goals behind. Lyon is marked between centre and centre-half forward.
I think Robbo is actually playing on the wing now on Greg Anderson.
Could be too. Seems to have been fairly close to that player. Viney's short pass. No mark taken. Still a chance. No, it's at centre-half forward. The siren will go very, very shortly. Cransberg, long, little kick. Oh, down goes Anderson from a Lyon tackle. And the boys have a shouldering contest as the siren ends the second term. And what an eventful second quarter it's been. There's Steve O'Dwyer, Gary Lyon. And at half-time, Essendon lead by 15 points. The Bombers 9-8, 62, Melbourne 7-5, 47.
Up at Windy Hill, 15 points the difference in favour of Essendon in one of the season's most fiery games, certainly. Stephen Stretch had it and then lost it pretty quickly. Good tackle applied by Buick on Simon Eishold. Kick it comes in to lend assistance. The umpire will bounce. Oh, kick it. Pushed out of it by Greg Healy. So the battle lines are drawn once again. O'Dwyer and Madden, the two protagonists. Neither got an effective tap out there. It's a scramble in midfield. And another ball up is the obvious solution from the umpire.
Very important, the early 10 minutes of this quarter, I would think.
Melbourne's got off to a slow start in the previous 2 terms. Madden won that one. Again, it wasn't effective. Not really pretty football until O'Donnell finally kicks it clear. Van der Haar, Werner in the news during the week. Hand pass comes out. Not an effective one. Yates drives Melbourne out of danger up towards centre wing, and Flintoff with Grenvold. Flintoff does well. Kicked a beautiful goal just before half-time. Eishold took off before nominations, and Thompson looking for 50 metres. Gets penalised for holding the ball. He played on, said the umpire. That was a bit harsh. Eishold kicks towards the right forward pocket. It's out of bounds. What do you think of that one, Bill?
Well, I thought it was play on, Pete, because once he took that step off the line of the mark, I think the umpire was entitled to call play on.
Fair enough. Bennett up high. Rode will have to double back, which he does. Good shepherd for Healy. Not Healy, it's Viney. Almost a mark to Madden. Couldn't quite drag it in. O'Donnell to Danaher. Good tackle, Jackson. Out it comes to Rode. Good tackle, Watson. Kicks loose off the side of the boot. Grenvold, almost. Ball shuffled out the back. Kick it. Doesn't kick it, he shuffles it forward.
Viney, Gore, crash. And down goes Grenvold. No, Buick it was. Now the ball comes out to centre wing where Long gathers it nicely. Round onto the left foot. Neat. And very neat. The kick a little too high though. Under pressure now. Yates clears for Melbourne. Back into the centre. Oh, great effort by Anderson. A one-hander, and round onto the left foot goes Greg Anderson. The raking drop punt kick. Nearly a mark back there to Spalding. He falls over. Critical. Kransberg keeps his footing. Passes brilliantly. The mark is taken by Werner. Jumping jack is Michael Werner up there at full forward. Always plenty of action when he's on the ground, and he spent the whole of the first half on the interchange bench.
Probably up too late last night, Robbo.
Yes, and he had some worries. He had some worries, but great to see him off that, because it certainly was a bad case that he had to answer for. Michael Werner kicks a behind. Bit of an anticlimax there after he took the mark from Kransberg's pass, and well within scoring distance there, Bernie.
Usually a very reliable kick also, Michael Werner, but not on that occasion.
Danny Hughes to kick the ball back in. Oh, mammoth kick. It's gone 70 metres to the wing. Steins taps it out the back. Viney's there. Can he gather the bouncing ball? It's bounced very, very awkwardly. Now Tingay, sweeping hand pass, goes back to Lovett. He gets around Kransberg and kicks with the right foot to centre half forward. Getting back and taking a safe mark is Terry Danaher. Danaher kicks it quickly off the back foot. Up and under, and Rode takes the mark. What can Rode do? The kick smothered. Gathering it, Lyon. Lyon's kick is effective. He spotted Jackson, and the short pass gives Jackson the opportunity from inside 50. Lyon making position at centre half forward. Jackson goes for him. Oh, all too easy, because this man certainly can kick the distance.
Well, if Anderson was meant to be on him, he wasn't making any effort, Robbo, to follow him.
I think Rode is on Anderson.
Yes, I agree, Ian. That's right, this quarter. I think Gary Lyon may be a ruck rover.
If only Melbourne had another 2 or 3 players built and move like this fellow. They're just a little bit short of real class, the Demons, aren't they? Now, Gary Lyon's kicking from the 50-metre line. It looks as though he's going for the drop punt. Lovely long kick. Will it come back with the breeze? Hits the post. Gary Lyon 1 goal 2. And Melbourne 7-6. Trail Essendon 9-9 early in the third term.
20 minutes left in the third quarter. A fiery game of football with Windy Hill. Danaher getting underneath it. O'Dwyer. Eyes on the ball there. Madden hooks out of the pack. Anderson 10 metres on his own, but the ball doubles back on him. Didn't do a kind bounce. And the end result is it's out of bounds.
I found all day that the bounce of the ball has been very difficult to predict.
Well, that's the oval ball, Robbo. That's a part of playing with the... It's not the round ball, so you have to expect the unexpected.
Line up high. Buick tackled well by Simon Eishold. And a stalemate according to the umpire, and we will see a bounce 50 metres out when the wrestle is concluded. And little things like that have been going on for 2 and a bit quarters already. One dares to suggest they'll continue. Madden, decisive tap out, kick it. Ball gets met pretty solidly by Viney with a good hip and shoulder.
He's hurt
Well, very high hip and shoulder when Derek Kickett was down low, as we have a look at this in replay. And certainly a free kick should have been paid there to Derek Kickett.
Might have got him with that pad he wears on his thigh, Bernie. Lyon. Where is this going to bounce? Both players came at it and both players missed it. Danaher, I think, will be content to rush it through from behind, which he is. So a further point to Melbourne. They're 7th behind, 7-7 to 9-9, 14 points. So gradually getting closer. Gradually, they're the operative word. Terry Danaher. Another good game today so far. 10 kicks he's had so far. Excellent effort. O'Donnell, looping hand pass. Derek Kickett seems to have recovered okay. He's moving well. Kickett down left centre wing. Onto Long. Oh, excellent smother there by Spalding. Back it comes to Kickett. Close to a throw. Umpire says no. Play on, O'Donnell. Great disposal under a lot of pressure. Manning, short pass. That's effective. Buick on the run. Outside 50. Now moves inside. Can kick long. Will do and will go. Just what Essendon needed to start the third quarter. 10-9 to 7-7.
Well, it's taken them a while to get the ball down on their forward line, and when they did, there was plenty of open space there because Melbourne had been doing all the attacking. And Darren Buick kicking his first goal, his 32nd goal for the season. Great play again across the centre line. Michael Long, kick it, who is playing in the centre also. He is picking up Gary Lyon, who's been moved to the centre.
Essendon by 20 points. O'Dwyer over the top. They'll get clear again through Thompson. Thompson's high kick to centre half forward. Spalding able to get his left foot to the ball. Kick it back into the centre. Eichel can't mark. Thompson well tackled by Rowe. Ball comes back now. Flintoff. High kick to centre half forward. No one there. Oh, Grenville drops a sitter. Viney tackle on Izard. Ball goes wide to the boundary line in front of Heaver, and Grenville will have a boundary throw in. And maybe Essendon a little fortunate there. Grenville dropping the mark. Melbourne not able to capitalise. Bennett doing the ruck work. Madden gets in front. O'Donnell. Short kick. Jackson. Handball. Heaver. Well caught by Izard. And he's penalised for holding the ball. So the free kick to go to Izard. Izard's high kick. Wide. Buick. Gee, they look for him a lot. He's a great runner. Very quick over the first 10 or 15. He's deep at half back in front of the small scoreboard. Buick's high kick up to half forward. Essendon mark, and it's taken by Manning, looking to give the hand pass off. Now the left foot pass in towards centre half forward. Awkwardly for Eichel. He still gets back and gets his kick. A high kick towards centre half forward. Melbourne outnumber. Grenville drops it. Comes down to Lovett. Oh, they could mess this up. Bennett over the top. Greg Healy too slow. Far too slow. Long's got it. Gets the handball away. Grenville held it. He didn't have it. Free kick going to Melbourne. What was that for, Bernie?
I didn't see it, Robbo. I followed the ball as it was knocked out of the pack, but I'm not too sure what that was paid for.
No, behind the play, Brett Lovett interfered with, and he'll take the free kick at centre half forward. He'll probably need a kick of about 50 metres to score, at least 45. The ball holding up, and it could be a Melbourne mark. No, it's not. It's through for a behind. A behind kick by Brett Lovett, the Melbourne half back. Melbourne 7-8, Essendon 10-9. Melbourne have kicked 3 behinds, and Essendon have kicked 1-1 in this third term.
Brett Lovett, of course, playing his 79th consecutive game. No one in the AFL at the moment has played more games on the trot than he has. 16.25 minutes left in this term. Boundary throw in, 40 metres out. Half forward flank for Melbourne. O'Dwyer and Madden again. Madden wins it. Excellent tap out by the veteran. Jackson. Taken down there by Flintoff. Gets met pretty solidly from behind. I dare say asked the question of the umpire for 50 metres. Doesn't get the answer he wanted. He kicked a great goal before half-time. So with his 11th kick, maybe he can make it 2. Coming back on for Essendon is Burns, and going off is Manning. Pretty fair angle to contend with out there too. That's not bad. In fact, it's a goal. So Flintoff's second goal, Melbourne's first for the third quarter, 10-9 to 8-8.
Well, Melbourne's still within striking distance, probably their best quarter, or their best start to a quarter. They certainly got run around in the first and second quarter early in those 2 quarters. But Melbourne certainly matching it with this very powerful Essendon side. They're doing well in the ruck and winning the ball around the middle of the ground, giving their forwards plenty of opportunities.
Back into the centre. Flintoff's second goal, and the Demons hanging on to the league leaders desperately after Essendon got a slashing start, beating the first 4 goals of the game. It looked as though it was going to be a drubbing, but to the credit of John Northey and Melbourne, the Demons have fought back well. It bounced just off centre circle. Madden taps down, not very far from O'Dwyer. Healy on the bottom of the pack, looks for a hand pass and finds one. Brett Lovett up towards left half forward, or the half forward, and now Darren Bennett, one of the longest kicks in the competition, has the mark. He'll kick from right on 50.
He'll make the distance, there's no doubt about that. Bennett, who has been moved out to centre half forward, not many kicks in the first half, but I think he'll just about kick this one.
Despite the fact the breeze slightly into his face, or he's got up and under that. He's only travelled about 40 metres. A rare kicking error by Bennett. Eichel It's another kicking error. That's out of bounds on the full.
Gee, that was a bad kick, Bernie, really, wasn't it?
Well, it was a very poor kick from Darren Bennett. I've seen him kick 60 metres, no problems, on many occasions, and he seemed to really get up and under, as Peter called that, but the other kick should have been centred there in front of goal.
Izzard in the back pocket for Essendon, kicks it out towards half-back. Bennett up high, can't take the mark. Melbourne still in possession and being penalised for not moving the ball on was Todd Viney. The free kick will go back there to Werner. Werner at half-back. Nice looking kick in front. Good mark taken by Burns. Sweeping hand pass. Danaher gets past Tingay. Short kick looking for Long. He's in the pocket. Handball. Not bad. Van der Haar run down. Could have been penalised. Eichhold on the end of it. Kicks it long and high. Flintoff. Melbourne could make something of this. Flintoff's kick into the pocket. It's too high. Goes around the back. Bennett uses his body. Hamilton back there, and Bennett does pretty well to keep the ball there for Melbourne. Considine looking for the free kick, but well done by the big demon forward. In front of the small scoreboard, which will tell us that Essendon are leading 69-56. Bounce up over the top, O'Dwyer on Madden, and I thought it looked blatantly a free kick to the bomber Ruckman. Madden kicks it in towards the centre. Anderson at the fall of the ball. He's still got it. Road looking for the free. Umpire will come in and bounce. So a pretty tight first half of the third quarter here at Windy Hill. Essendon have kicked a goal. Melbourne have kicked a goal. Now Demons a chance of going through. Flintoff passes a little too short. It goes inside 50 metres. The battle is on. Viney gives it to Campbell. Campbell handballs it in front of Tingay. He spins out. Tries to get it to Jackson. Off the ground. Jackson misses. Ricky Jackson, 2 goals, 1. Lively forward. 12 minutes left.
They're looking good this quarter, Robbo. The Demons have certainly given it their all.
They've started the third quarter a lot better than they did the first and second. Terry Danaher's high kick, Road getting underneath it, and in fact has taken the mark in front of Werner. And Danny Hughes goes out to remonstrate with him, decides to play on. Centering kick, there he is again. TD, Terry Danaher to Long. Decides to go for a run, has one bounce. Not the greatest kick he's ever put in. Salmon moving around with dexterity midfield. Watson has to punch clear. Spalding. Yates. Oh, straight to kick it, and he will. And he has. Derek Kickett brings up his first goal, and Essendon's 11th, 11-9 to 8-9 at Windy Hill.
Well, that was a terrible mistake there from Graham Yates. The handball hitting Derek Kickett right on the chest. As we have a look at it again in replay, there's a handball from Yates, and I don't know what he was thinking about when he gave that handball out, but Kickett was certainly the player that was in the perfect position to accept the hand pass and had no trouble putting the goal through.
Very intelligent, quick kick by Derek Kickett. Melbourne go forward. Campbell overruns it. Kick off the ground by Jackson is intelligent. Terry Danaher defending grandly for the Bombers. Left foot kick, getting underneath it is Road, and he takes a good mark. He's taken 3 in the space of 6 minutes, Peter Road. Good one grab marks. Kick the centre half forward. Bennett behind. No mark. Tingay, Long has held, but he didn't really have control of it. So Long will take the free kick just on the defensive side of the centre. Michael Long, very creative player. He's had 8 kicks and 9 hand passes.
Well, that wasn't a bad free kick because it certainly held Essendon up.
Mark taken by Danaher. 50 metres against O'Dwyer. Well, this is going overboard.
They have gone overboard with that, haven't they?
Well, what it does, it creates the chance now for the Essendon player to kick a goal.
Well, certainly. He'll only be... the man on the mark will be about 20 metres out now, Steve O'Dwyer.
What I'd like to ask, Bernie, just a few minutes ago, David Flintoff took a mark in the forward pocket. Izzard stopped, which is what O'Dwyer tried to do there. Flintoff went to ground. There was no 50 metres given. Here's another one up the other end where the 50 metres is given.
Well, they've gone from one extreme last week to the other this week where they didn't pay any. They've had the instruction this week, and obviously they've come out, the umpires, and they're giving 50-metre penalties for everything.
Danaher maybe justifiably so, misses to the right. Terry Danaher, playing in a key defensive role for Essendon today, has kicked 1-1, running down into that forward area. The kick in is marked by Stretch. He's been conspicuous by his absence, but a beautiful kick finds Road between half-back and centre wing. O'Dwyer indicating to go long, and Road does that. Drop punt kick to centre half forward. Bennett can't mark from behind. O'Donnell taps it. Spalding has the ball. No, it just goes over. And we'll have a throw in between wing and half forward, just favouring Melbourne.
Throw-ins right in the middle of the interchange area here at Windy Hill. Tapped out by Salmon. Straight to Jackson. Spiral punt kick. 45 metres. Grenbold. Centering kick from him. Long, the target. Long in front of Tingay marks. Kickett will take him out, or try to. Long still going. Lyon, he's got him. He's caught holding the ball. Great tackle.
Good persistence.
Yeah, good work by Gary Lyon. Michael Long didn't know where to go in the end.
Lyon kicks to midfield. It was Viney. Kicked down by Lovett to half forward. O'Donnell. Heaver, who started on the bench. O'Donnell nearly again. Heaver's kick though is short, and Bennett.
Lucks of fortune.
Yes, good pass.
Yeah, it wasn't intended for Darren Bennett.
I think Heaver tried to kick a goal.
It was a very poor kick in the end from Heaver. And Darren Bennett just tall enough to get his fingertips to it and take that mark.
Now let's see if Bennett can make amends for a miss earlier. He didn't get the distance from 45 out. He's about 30 metres out here directly in front. And that's a goal. And a handy one for Melbourne. Bennett's first for the day, and Melbourne's ninth. 11-10 to 9-9.
Well, Darren Bennett has had a quiet day. He's only kicked the 1 goal, but he's had a problem with that thigh. He pulled an upper thigh muscle in that first half. And there's the shot for goal. A much better kick from about 35 metres out.
Well, maybe that's why he missed that shot earlier. Normally he wouldn't. Bennett's first. Melbourne again back in it.
So with just under 9 minutes left, Gary Lyon has been tremendous for Melbourne around that centre. The kick high from him is marked by Tingay. Back it goes to Lyon. Handball over the top is a little too fierce for Flintoff. Oh, dear me, Todd Viney and Michael Long.
Michael Long knew he was about to be crunched there and jumped very high.
So a chance for the Demons again to go into attack. And after that boundary throw in, not for very long, it's Paul Vanderhaar who takes the mark. Started on the forward line, moved to defence as Kevin Sheedy did last week with him at Princes Park against Hawthorn. Derek Kickett throws it out the back to Anderson virtually. Danaher, what a great game he's playing again. 20-metre hand pass. He's delivered better, but it does find Werner in the end. Werner gets it back to Anderson. This man is brilliant. Anderson on the run, kicks long over the head of O'Dwyer, and the ball just out of bounds. Essendon's right forward pocket. So a throw in next to the point post years ago that Lee Matthews broke. O'Dwyer and Madden. Won by Madden. Stretch. Hughes. Flintoff. Highshold. Right centre wing. Kicks to half forward. Picked up by Campbell. Centering kick, but a very high kick. Oh, Bennett got a mile in the air. Landed rather heavily. That won't help his injury. Considine on the end of a hand pass. And Essendon's running game out of defence. Again good. He's kicked the centre wing and he's found Thompson, one of Essendon's best players today. He and Danaher who starred. Thompson up to half forward. Spalding. Yates. He gave a shocking hand pass to Kickett, which resulted in a goal earlier in this quarter. He's taken that out of bounds. It will be thrown in 35 metres from goal.
Just a little bit of play up here by Campbell. He should have just held that and maybe given the hand pass over instead of blasting away. That's a few minutes ago up on the Melbourne forward line. Ball comes back towards Thompson. Round onto the right foot, which is his unnatural kicking foot, but it's a good one. And who does he find? Terry Danaher. You get the feeling that maybe they've swapped over there. Terry Danaher now down on the forward line and Vanderhaar back there at fullback.
No doubt about that, Robbo. Terry Danaher now playing centre-half forward, and Paul Vanderhaar picking up Darren Bennett.
Impressive statistics for Terry Danaher, 23 possessions. And the kick, he may have hooked that a little, and he misses to the left. So Essendon missing important shots at goal in this third term, 11-11 to 9-9. They lead by 14 points. We've got 6 minutes left in this third quarter. Short kick in, goes to Lovett. Lovett's able to run on, the pass is okay, finds Lyon. And Gary Lyon, who's played tremendously well for Melbourne. He's had 18 possessions. The high kick towards centre-half forward. Who's home? Steins has bumped off it easily by Salmon. And Salmon takes the mark at centre-half back. Short kick. Coming up is Burns, and he takes the mark in front of Jackson. Burns called to play on now, onto the left foot. High kick. Mark to Melbourne, taken by Lyon, handball away. Road, Melbourne mounting something, the kick towards half forward. Opportunity for Campbell if he can gather. He can, he may have to go for goal, there's no one home. He goes for goal, and he has nearly kicked it. No, the goal umpire awards the mark. Salmon kicks it away towards half back. No one home there for Melbourne. Steins has got to run Kransberg down. Kransberg flips it back. Too far. Melbourne a chance again. Healy will be run down by O'Donnell, but O'Donnell takes it away from the Melbourne captain. Could be a tackle. No, he gets his kick away. High towards centre-half forward, and Melbourne mark nearly back there to Yates. He's got the football underneath him. Kick off the ground by Spalding. Melbourne get clear. Steins and Stretch combine. Stretch's kick is marked by Flintoff. He's going to be able to run inside 50. He still can. He can go now with a hand pass. Off to Heaver. Heaver kicks with the right foot. In short, the mark is taken there by Considine.
Considine, spiral punt, travels 60 metres out of danger. Stretch on centre wing with Grenville. Viney. Tingo. Had it and then lost it. Ball towards the boundary line. Buick. And Darren Buick. Beautiful kick under pressure. Madden and O'Dwyer. Madden.
Great mark by Simon Madden out in front. Steve O'Dwyer applying a lot of pressure, trying to knock the ball out of Madden's hands.
Madden's left footer doesn't get much distance at the Backers Road, but there's a free kick. And it's to Werner
for a push out.
So things forming into place for Essendon on the forward line. They've had 2 goals from 50-metre penalties, both kicked by Flood. And now Werner with a chance with this free kick to give Essendon some breathing space. Spent the first half on the bench, Michael Werner, after a late night at AFL House.
Very reliable kick for goal.
He's 25 to 30 metres out, pretty well directly in front. And one would suggest he hasn't missed. The 10 Essendon players have now kicked goals. Remarkable, out of their tally of 12-11-83 to 9-9-63 at Windy Hill.
Yes, Danny Hughes giving Werner a bit of attention there, but it's too late now. Michael Werner kicking his first goal. And a very handy goal there for Essendon, because Melbourne have been doing most of the attacking. They've looked very impressive in this quarter, but Essendon have made the most of their opportunities.
Now 20 points the difference after Werner's goal. Essendon go into attack again. Stretch with Buick. Yates spinning out. He'll be pretty careful where he hand passes. No, he doesn't this time. But the kick is not a good one. In fact, it's out of bounds on the full. So Graham Yates not having a great quarter. In fact, the third quarter has lacked a little bit of fire compared to the first 2. O'Donnell will take the free kick for the Bombers. Another defender moving up onto the forward line. Centering kick. O'Dwyer with a big fist. Anderson nearly gets run down. To his credit, gets his kick in. Kick it. He will, and another one. The kicker bringing up his second goal for the quarter, and from equally close in. The Bombers 13-11 to 9-9.
Yes, Peter. Well, Derek Kickett's kicked his second goal for the quarter, as you said, and second goal for the match. But Melbourne have put up a tremendous effort at the start of this third quarter, and maybe now it is telling the class of Essendon on the occasions they do get it up onto that forward line, as Tim Watson comes off the ground, who's been replaced by Andrew Manning. And certainly a lot of class in this Essendon side once they get the run of the ball.
He's limping slightly, Watson. Probably a precaution. Under 3 minutes left in the term.
Going straight to the dressing room too with the doctor. Essendon get it out again. Road, gather. Oh, good persistence by Essendon. Free kick has been picked out of it. It's going to Essendon. I don't quite know why the advantage rule wasn't paid, because it's still coming back to the player who kicked the ball down towards centre-half forward.
Well, there was no advantage really, because it was up for grabs. There was a Melbourne player and an Essendon player.
Danaher's kicked to half forward. Tingay, in his exuberance, interferes with Kransberg. And Kransberg takes the free kick at half forward. So the last 2 or 3 minutes favouring the Bombers. Tingay certainly had his eyes on the ball, but he ran straight into the Essendon player. Kransberg has kicked one and should kick this. No, he hooks it. And it's through for Essendon's 12th behind. 13-12, plays 9-9, and it just may be enough. The third quarter proving a very important one. Melbourne need to kick goals in the remaining part of this third term. Good effort by Manning on Eishold, and he holds the ball in Essendon's forward half. Eishold had the opportunity to kick it, then slipped.
Yeah, just looked at a critical moment there. Eishold tried to play on, doing the right thing.
Boundary throw in. Danaher gets the knockout. Rhodes a chance. Boundary line too close, so we'll have another throw in. But certainly Terry Danaher gaining about 15 or 20 metres for his side. Close to the 50-metre line, boundary throw in. Steins at the back. Gets the tap out, but it's not really effective. Kransberg dispossessed. Opportunity for Long. Gets his kick away, despite some close attention by Stretch. Yates under pressure. Handball. O'Dwyer over the top. Spalding's going to be caught by Buick. Harassing by Buick is brilliant. Gives Burns the chance. Handball over the top to kick it. He slips. Gets back onto the left foot. His kick is hooked into the pocket. Hughes. O'Dwyer gives it to Lyon, who gets back there to help out. Now Stretch. Stretch kicks to the vacant wing position.
He's vacant of Melbourne players. Werner goes short. Long was the target, and the mark taken for Melbourne by Flintoff. Flintoff at the right half-back flank has kicked 2 goals himself. Not too many goal kickers for the Demons today. He's kicked to centre wing. Punched down by Considine. O'Donnell offloaded by Tingay as he kicks in towards midfield. Burns takes the mark. Well, they didn't really gain too much from that. Burns out wide to right half forward. Madden. Hand pass comes out from Brett Lovett onto Jackson. Jackson kicking to half forward. Bennett. We look for a hand pass. Van der Haar. Now Jackson. Not too many options up there for him. Back to Bennett. Kick was smothered off the boot. Heaver taps the ball to the ground. Could have almost been a free kick. In fact, the umpire says it will be a free kick to Grenvold, which he will take right on the side. So at 3/4 time, as I said, a comparatively quiet quarter when we match it up against the first two. 13-12, Essendon 90 points, leading the Demons 9-9-63 with 25 minutes of football remaining. A quarter now from Windy Hill, the home side leading by 27 points after they booted 4-4 to 2-4 during the third term. O'Dwyer and Madden at it again. Off the ground from Tingay, kicks it out wide towards the flank. Grenvold tracking it towards the fence. That might have been a free kick to Ricky Jackson too, as he tries to get it to a teammate. In fact, that's what the umpire has seen, and Jackson not wasting any time. Needs a big mark down there, none can be taken. Chance for Healy. Well tackled by Anderson. Is that holding the ball? Essendon supporters were looking for it. The umpire says no.
Lucky to get away with it.
He was, wasn't he?
Yes, very lucky.
Yeah. Usually when players pull the ball in, Peter, like that, they get penalised.
Not today. Well, not then anyway. O'Dwyer taps down. O'Donnell kicks out. Up towards the centre circle. Chance for the Demons again. Brett Lovett's kick. Up towards half forward. Little heaver. And Van der Haar. Starting at one end of the ground and finishing at the other. Nothing unusual under Kevin Sheedy's coaching. He swings them around. Van der Haar kicked 5 against Hawthorn in the third quarter and finished up in defence. Manning was the flyer. No mark taken, but he comes out well long hand pass intended for Considine. Campbell chips in though for the Demons, still inside the square. Kicks towards goal, tall timber there for Essendon. Van der Haar almost again. Jackson looking for a free kick and possibly could have got one. Gets the ball out wide. Viney almost. Eishold.
Heaver.
And it was Heaver coming out with the kick. And he's put it through, has he, for just a minor score. So that makes the difference now 26 points, 13-12 to 9-10.
He's had 2 chances, Heaver, there in the last minute or so. Considine to kick the ball back into play. Melbourne need a goal very, very quickly to give them some impetus. Kick off the ground by Campbell, rebounds to Long, gets the hand pass away. Melbourne still got it there. Viney, rugby style. Grenvold is caught. Still Melbourne. Chance, the handball comes to Tingay. Over the top, Healy. Heaver tries to give it to him. Now Greg Healy's got it. The left foot snapshot into the pocket. Kicked off the ground there by Van der Haar, close to the line. Heaver and Hamilton. Hamilton gets back. He puts his feet over, but keeps the ball in. O'Donnell's caught with the ball by Road. And the umpire calls for a boundary throw-in. Well within scoring distance for Melbourne. Although the wind is blowing into that pocket. Campbell leaves it behind. Umpire surely will have to call for another bounce. It's about 45, maybe a little closer, 40 metres from the Melbourne goal. And the Demons badly need to get one very early in this last quarter. They trail 13-12. Essendon, Melbourne 9-10. Madden over the top. Grenvold is caught and he's penalised.
Yes, good decision. Very good decision there by the umpire, because Grenvold threw himself forward when he knew the tackle was about to be applied by Todd Viney there. And he also let the ball go completely. There he goes, throws himself forward. And a very good tackle by Todd Viney.
So an important kick for Melbourne to be taken by Todd Viney. Renowned for his tackling and fierce desire to get the football. He's kicking from about 35 metres. Angle not all that difficult. The kick looks pretty good. It's there.
Todd Viney's first goal. 13-12 to 10-10. 20 points the difference.
Well, they're still in it, Melbourne. They're not beaten yet. Todd Viney, very tenacious player. As we have a look at that free kick again, Grenvold takes possession of the ball. The tackle is applied there by Viney. Grenvold throws himself forward and doesn't do anything about getting rid of the ball. There's a kick from Viney from about 40 metres out, and this gives Melbourne a real chance.
Can Melbourne come back? Viney's first goal, giving the Demons some sort of hope. Danaher, kick short, up to kick it and stretch. O'Donnell for Essendon. Out to Michael Long. Werner. Within kicking distance.
May have been lucky to have been paid that mark, Pete.
Take a look at it again. Oh, yeah.
Well, did he hold that long enough? I don't think so.
Control it at all.
No way did he control that.
Well, I've heard people criticising umpires for decisions because they turn matches. And here's a terrific example. Werner within, what, 35 metres?
And a pretty accurate kick for goal, I think you said earlier. He spent the first half on the bench. He's kicked one goal. I don't think he's going to score a goal with that kick. So 1 goal, 2. He's kicked now. Michael Werner, 20 minutes and 35 seconds left in this match. 21 points the difference. So where there's life, there's hope for Melbourne. Danny Hughes kicks in. That's another mammoth kick. He's kicked it almost to the centre of the ground. Great effort. Good tackle by Tingay. Madden out to Long. A quick kick from a standing start. Todd Viney. Well, you could almost argue that was a mark as well, I suppose. Healy. Opportunity. Goes backwards to Danny Hughes, who fumbles at the crucial moment.
It was a bad handball.
Yeah, terrible handball there from Greg Healy. Not under a lot of pressure. Should have been able to hit Danny Hughes on the chest.
So out of bounds, left forward pocket for Melbourne. Madden and O'Dwyer have been a little bit quieter in the second half, so far at least. Madden wins out. Stretch, pushed off it by Kickett. Healy puts the body in well. Kickett's up and under, and the ball back almost in the same place. So a boundary throw in again, almost in the identical position.
Ruckman, O'Dwyer and Madden. They had a real go at each other at the first bounce. Kick goes clear from Lovett. And he puts it out of the danger zone for the Demons, outside 50 metres. at Essendon's left half forward. Big Steve O'Dwyer, a decent whack in the mouth. There's a small scoreboard showing you that Essendon are leading by 21 points. Spalding, Lyon, now Melbourne edge it into their forward half. Punched away, comes back towards Flintoff, who's been very creative. He's run down by Grenvold, gets the handball away to Jackson. Jackson, good pass. Oh, Campbell nearly got it. Eichel will, great tackle, Van der Haar, and Eichel should be penalised. He is. Desperate stuff, wasn't it, Bernie?
It was from both players there. Paul Van der Haar did well to be able to get there in the first place and knock the ball away from Campbell.
50 metres against the Melbourne player for not getting the ball back to Paul Van der Haar on the full.
That's about 4 against Melbourne today. 2 have cost them goals.
So Van der Haar will come up into the centre of the field. Oh, it's Greg Healy, actually, for knocking him over.
Well, Greg Healy had no reason to be there at all. Actually ran right over the mark.
Could be critical. Van der Haar, 45-metre kick towards the 50-metre line. Melbourne mark taken by Steins. Clean mark at centre-half back to the Melbourne ruckman.
He's been quiet, Robbo, today.
He has, hasn't he? Playing with no confidence, Jimmy Steins at the moment. The high kick, Campbell over the top, can't mark. Izard grabs the bouncing ball. Short kick to the advantage of Long. Out in front of that player. And it sits beautifully for him. A little chip right footer. And it's an Essendon mark taken by Manning. Manning right on the 50-metre line.
There's Michael Long again. Every time he gets the ball running into the forward line, he never blazes away. Always looks for a teammate.
Manning going for goal. The high drop punt kick goes across the face. And it's helped through now for a behind to Essendon. So the Bombers now lead by 22 points and we've got 18 minutes left. There's Watson and Flood on the interchange bench there for Essendon as Danny Hughes prepares to bring the ball back in.
Brian Wilson back on the ground too. He's replaced Simon Eichel.
Kick up to half back. Danaher late on the scene. Chips in. Another mark. What a great game. Just seems to get better with age, doesn't he? Like a good port. What are his stats today? Pretty impressive. Terry Danaher, 17 kicks. Dwyer and Madden. Madden with the front position.
Peter, it's amazing how experience is a great teacher. At no stage was Terry Danaher going to kick that ball.
No, he's
until
looking
he
around,
saw someone make a lead. And
He
it
was
was his
looking
old
around.
comrade, Simon Madden.
And he wasn't even really a pass. He just put it in position where Simon Madden had a run at the ball and could get a jump out in front of Steve O'Dwyer.
Not the best stats that Simon Madden has had, I suppose. He and O'Dwyer have probably taken each other out of the game. Trusty left foot. Results in a goal. Madden's first and the 11th Essendon player to score a goal today. 14-14 to 10-10 at Windy Hill.
Yes, Peter. Well, Simon Madden, as I said, his stats haven't been all that impressive today, but the good thing about his game, he stood up to the aggression of Steve O'Dwyer. He was hurt badly in that first centre square bounce where Steve O'Dwyer charged straight at him, and he was in a bit of strife there for a while, but he's fought back and given as good as he's taken.
Melbourne get forward through Todd Viney. Bennett can't mark. Van der Haar tries to crash his way through. Successfully does. Goes back into the centre. Kick it. Running onto it, Burns. He's grabbed around the neck by Lyon. And certainly an obvious free kick going to Essendon to be taken by Burns. Burns has spotted a player further afield. The pass is wide. No mark taken. Danaher. Kick it. Well smothered. Anderson. On the right foot goes Greg Anderson and he puts it through. What a great goal.
Anderson second. And that just about gets the Bombers home, you'd suggest, as the scoreboard reads 15-14, 104, leading Melbourne by 34 points.
The class starting to show through now for Essendon. So many good players once they have the opportunities. Cransberg, Terry Danaher. A kick smothered there by Earl Spalding. A good smother by Melbourne, but they have the players in support. A great running goal. On his wrong foot there, Greg Anderson. The right foot is a natural left footer, but showing great skills on the opposite side of his body.
16 minutes left. Essendon get clear of the centre again. Yates is under pressure from Manning, close to the line. Yates tries to kick it off the ground, but crashes into that small scoreboard as the ball goes over for a boundary throw-in.
The spikes looked a bit dangerous over there, Robbo, from the Little League. The goalposts.
15 3/4 minutes left in this game. Danaher's kick is high. Doesn't get too much distance. Kransberg could be hurt on the ground there. Lyon kicks to the centre of the ground and kicks effectively too. At the half forward, which is Darren Bennett. Kransberg still in the hands of the trainers at the other end of the ground. It's in a bit of pain too, just got the glasses on him. Bennett's kick at goal is pretty long and accurate. Darren Bennett second, and a very valuable one for Melbourne. Still hanging in, but they're a long way from home. 15-14 to 11-10. Now Kransberg back on his feet. Let's take a look how he went down here, going for the big specky.
There's Tingay coming the other way there, put the boot in, and Kransberg feeling that in a pretty sensitive area.
Well, he's still on the ground, so that's the good news for Essendon with Timmy Watson sidelined. Jimmy Steins is going to have a stint in the ruck. As we mentioned not long back, has been a pretty quiet player today. Steins and Salmon. So two new men at the centre bounce. Flintoff up to half forward. That's a good mark taken by Darren Bennett.
Well, that's an identical position, isn't it, basically?
Just a little bit further out, I think, Robbo.
Well, he kicked the last one from about the 50-metre line. He won't be much different here, maybe a metre or so.
It's closer.
He's kicked two. Should get the distance. He's got it. Identical result, another goal. All of a sudden, Melbourne getting back a little bit closer. 15-14 to 12-10. The Demons trailing by 22 points.
Yeah, still a big margin to make up. Darren Bennett at last finding some space to lead into on that forward line. He does kick the ball very well when he has the opportunity from around that 45-50 metre mark. And that gives Darren Bennett 59 goals for the season. Been a very good forward for Melbourne.
Well, the game's far from over. Love it. Kicks Melbourne into their forward half. They're under pressure, the Bombers. Considine overruns it. Tries to flip it back to give himself the opportunity to clear the ball, but can't do so. And the umpire calls for a bounce. Right on the corner of the centre square, about 60 metres from the Melbourne goal. Salmon, O'Dwyer. Salmon gets the tap out. It goes wide. Kick off the ground by O'Donnell. From mid-air, Spalding kicks with the left foot. Kicks it pretty well, but O'Donnell's there. Handball is good. Anderson could be run down by Jackson. Good play, Jackson. Anderson's kicking short. Kick it marks. Kick it at centre half forward. Maybe too far out to score. He's gone for the short. Stretch touches it. Great gather by Anderson. Lovely hand pass, which he's not used to. Werner shrugs the tackle and kicks awkwardly into the pocket over on the full free kick to Hughes.
Well done, Stephen Stretch. Put a lot of pressure on Werner there.
Hughes' kick finishes with Lovett. Lovett looking to move the ball quickly. Could have nearly been called to play on. Now he will play on. Runs straight across centre half back. Gives it to Lyon. Lyon will put Melbourne into attack. The short kick. O'Dwyer, no, too high. Melbourne a chance through Heaver. Nearly gets the ball. Now he does. He breaks clear. No, he doesn't. He's still got a chance. And eventually he kicks it up to full forward. No mark taken. Opportunity for Bennett. Left foot kick by Bennett. Hooks around, but it's through for a behind. So Melbourne's still in this game with a real chance. We've got 12 minutes left and they trail by 21 points.
Well, they want some goals and they still want them quickly.
If they can get the next goal, I think they may have a big chance to get back into this match, but they certainly need the next one.
Ball kicked out by Considine. And like Danny Hughes at the other end, gets a pretty fair distance with the kick. Yates on the bottom of it. Lyon slippers it away. Not very far. No free kick. Yates again. Short kick on the mark. Taken for Melbourne by Flintoff. Over to Healy. Snapshot is there. So a belated run from the Demons. Their 13th goal kicked by their skipper. 15-14 to 13-11.
Well, it looked all over halfway through this quarter, but still with 11, well, nearly 12 minutes left on the clock, and Melbourne coming with a flourish here in this last quarter. Darren Bennett kicked 2 goals. Greg Healy, who has been quiet, kicking his first. Timmy Watson back on the ground trying to lift the Bombers. They've come to a standstill in this last quarter.
Probably put Simon Madden back in the ruck soon too. Salmon wins it out from the centre though. Oh, that was bad play from Yates. And Watson, just the man to liven up the Bombers, nearly gets caught. Yates runs straight at the ball, but he leaves it for his skipper Healy. And Healy kicks towards the centre wing position, and Campbell out positioned by Considine, who takes the safe mark.
Gee, that was a poor kick when you're in the clear and you give it away to the opposition. Again, Melbourne, irrepressive, Lion to Viney. No mark, punched away by Van der Haar. And Watson in lots of trouble back at centre half forward for Essendon. 2 trainers coming out to attend him. Boundary throw in 50 metres from the Melbourne goal. Goal here to Melbourne. And I tell you what, this big crowd here at Windy Hill will certainly have something to shout about. Wilson on the bottom of it there with Grenvold. Umpire calls for a bounce. Only 15 points of difference, and we've got 11 minutes left in the game.
I think Essendon probably wouldn't have Tim Watson on the ground if the other 2 players, Kranzberg and Flood, weren't injured.
Hamilton's kick smothered. Thompson dispossessed. Ball rebounds. Now it comes to Jackson. The short pass is effective, and the mark is taken by Viney. And Van der Haar, you were lucky you didn't make contact. Is that Long down behind play?
Yes, it is.
Just inside the 50-metre line. He's in lots of trouble, Michael Long.
If Essendon win this, it'll be what we call a Pyrrhic victory, won't it? The attrition rate's been pretty high out there.
There was Michael Long going down just behind Ricky Jackson as he delivered the ball to Todd Viney. And if Viney can kick a goal here, it'll only be 9 points of difference. Oh, shocker. Absolute shocker.
Well, that's where pressure players and good players in pressure situations such as that come through with the goods. And Todd Viney never went back with any confidence when he was having that shot at goal.
Still 10 minutes left in this game. Last few minutes have provided a touch of drama. Salmon and O'Dwyer. Salmon has the mark. Paul Salmon from left half back kicks over the head of Peter Rode out to Thompson. Hughes punches for the boundary line and Lovett, and in that order, and Long also getting up but also limping. So Long, Watson and Flood all carrying injuries. Danaher, they've got a free kick there. Ball booted out of the pack. Anderson, courageous effort to mark, couldn't drag it down. Healy to Jackson. Jackson up towards the right half forward flank. Van der Haar missed it. Opportunity for Bennett. Izzard. Considine. Jackson again. Kicks it goal. And I think has got it. He has. Jackson's 3rd goal. And Melbourne giving them a shake.
Who said this game was all over?
Well, it looked all over, didn't it? When
it did.
Greg Anderson put that goal through on his right foot.
You get the impression Essendon are resting on their laurels. Every time they make a surge, they get back on their heels.
Well, they may have been thinking the same as we did at that stage because it looked as if it was all over. But Ricky Jackson there, that's a magnificent goal off the boundary line. His 3rd goal, his first in this final quarter. Melbourne coming home with a full steam ahead.
The closest that Melbourne has got since the first quarter of the match here at Windy Hill. Ricky Jackson putting through his 3rd goal. We get a new ball. We've still got 9 minutes to go, and it's 104 to 95. 9 points in it. Can Melbourne pull off a miraculous victory? Can Essendon hang on? The Bombers under pressure. They shot out to a 5-goal break, but now Melbourne has come back. O'Dwyer and Salmon. Salmon again, but not a decisive tap down. Almost a free kick. Long comes out with the ball to Izzard. Izzard's kick to the edge of the square. Anderson running again with the fight of the ball and courage. Good tackle by Stretch. The ball spills free. And Anderson luckily gets a free kick.
Anderson runs around onto that favoured left foot and kicks it long towards centre half forward. No mark taken. Ball rebounds. Chance now for Manning. He's well tackled by Lyon. Ball runs free. Burns. Sweeping hand pass. Watson. Watson hooks the ball and kicks it behind. Exciting stuff here at Windy Hill as Melbourne make a surge at the league leaders.
It's 4 behind to Tim Watson for the day.
Hughes, a short kick. Love it. How did he get on his own? There's another player on his own. It's Steins. Player over the top. It's got to be Rowe. He'll take it. He could be run down by Long. Gets the handball away. Opportunity for Viney. Gets around too easily. Viney's long kick to centre half forward. Bennett in front. Punched away. Goes back towards the centre. Opportunity for Healy. Comes back towards Heaver. He slips over. Critical. Essendon dive on the football at centre half forward.
Steins is down behind play. Let's see what happened to him. Oh, thank you. Oh, Andrew Manning, I think, wasn't it?
Or was it Burns?
Might have been Burns.
Yes, I think it was Burns. That did not look good.
Lyon kicks it high towards full forward. Melbourne, Mark Bennett. And the Demon fans are alive and well at Windy Hill. Jimmy Steins regains his footing and Melbourne will need him in the last 7 minutes. This kick could make it 4 points the difference.
He's kicked well in this last quarter too, Darren Bennett.
He's kicked 3 goals, as you can see. Lovely kick, is his 4th goal.
4 goals to Darren Bennett, and it's only a kick in it now at Windy Hill, 15-11 to 15-15.
And still plenty of time left too, Pete. Still nearly 7 minutes left on the clock. So there's plenty of time.
And do you believe in the team that's got the run on rather than the other team to recover?
I certainly do. I think with the side of the run on the way Melbourne has at the moment, got plenty of opportunities to win the match.
4 points the difference in a thriller now at Windy Hill, and who would have guessed that at three-quarter time? Campbell looks for Heaver. Burns can't handle it. The umpire decides that he's going to do just that, and it will be a ball up.
Gee, Tony Campbell should have turned and kicked that. Heaver was, there were 2 players hot on his tail.
Pretty crowded out there now. Lyon, as good as a kick, inside 50. Healy tried to find the hand pass, couldn't do so. Tingay on the end of one, kicks it goal. And had he kicked straight, Melbourne would have been in front for the first time today. As it is, they still trail by 3 points, 102 to 105, 6.25 minutes left in this match. And if somebody had told me that Melbourne would have got this close at three-quarter time, I think I would have called the police, Robbo.
There was never much in this. I'll tell you what, they've just been nipping away all day, Melbourne.
Without looking as though they're going to be a serious threat, though, just the same. Van der Haar, Long, Watson. Tackled well by Hughes. Tingay again from a standing start. Spiral punt. Bennett late on the scene. Couldn't mark. Wilson. Van der Haar. Kick it. And he will. Now he's going to go for the hand pass to the brilliant Anderson. Gets scragged. Still gets the possession away. Steins goes down again. Looking for the free kick and gets one at left half-back flank.
And the ball will have to go back to the giant Melbourne ruckman at half-back. Don't know whether I'd take a risk of handball here. No, he's going to kick it long, high towards the wing. Oh, push out by Salmon. But Buick goes in and gets the football, but Tingay does pretty well to hold it in. Desperate stuff there by the Melbourne wingman. And a bounce will take place on centre wing. Eishold preparing to come back on for Melbourne. They really can't get a message to the player that they're trying to replace. O'Dwyer tries to take the ball. Tingay tackle. Kick off the ground by Heaver. Gather by Watson. High kick. Madden goes straight through him. Stretch gets back. He's usually a beautiful kick, and this is no exception with the left foot. Towards centre half forward. No mark. Jackson. Handball over the top. In trouble is Hamilton, but he's able to thread his way through and kick it back. Oh, great mark. What a magnificent mark by Lyon. He gives the handball away. Melbourne surging forward. Here comes Danny Hughes. Long to within goal score. Oh, mark to Bennett. It's great stuff at Windy Hill.
What a mark that.
Oh, Lyon before that too, Bernie, was a beauty, wasn't it, under pressure?
They've shown a lot of character, Melbourne, to come back from where they were. The position looked hopeless. It did. Paul Van der Haar was used as a stepladder there by Darren Bennett.
Bennett a chance to kick his 5th and put Melbourne in front. It's a beautiful kick. It's straight through the centre.
5 goals to Darren Bennett and a remarkable turnaround at Windy Hill. That was Melbourne's 7th goal for the last quarter. 16-12 to 15-15 in a thriller.
Darren Bennett, 4 goals in his final term. As I said earlier, he injured that thigh in the first half, and that's a magnificent mark. Jumped early, got the ride on Paul van der Haar, and his kicking in this last quarter has been magnificent.
4 minutes to go in this match. Can Essendon come back? They need a goal. Watson looking for the free. It's socket off the ground up towards half forward on the 50-metre line. Madden right on it. Here's a chance for Buick if he can gather it. It's Werner. Snapshot. Is there or is it a behind? 1 point to the Bombers. They trail by 2 points. 15-16 to 16-12. 3 3/4 minutes left. Danny Hughes to kick in. They looked at a beaten side, didn't they? And then they came out, slowly pegged back the league leaders, and they're in front. Good kick by Hughes. Punch away by Madden. Rowe. Kick smothered. Does well. Butters up again. Rhodes kick down towards right half forward. In front is Campbell. Can't take the mark. Considine. Melbourne trying to close the ball up, knowing that perhaps time is on their side.
It's a long way from Essendon's goal now, Peter, with 3 minutes left.
3 1/4.
Well, if Melbourne can get some luck out of this ruck contest, Salmon taps it out the back. Kick goes forward from Viney into the pocket. Close to the line, it's helped over by O'Donnell. And I don't know whether Essendon need that. They trail by 2 points. And what a magnificent comeback by Melbourne. They've always looked in trouble, but they've shown some character. Salmon is dispossessed. So is Hamilton. Somehow he got it to Danaher. They've got it clear. Thompson at centre half back. Handball. Oh, it's a straight. Bennett gathers. Over the top, kick it. No free kick. Good tough stuff. And the umpire swallows his whistle until he elects to bounce.
Well done by the big full forward again, Darren Bennett.
2.5 minutes left. Time for Essendon to take it forward. Time for Melbourne to get a goal and maybe seal it. It's about 65 metres from the Melbourne goal. O'Dwyer gets it. Flintoff can't break clear. Eichel gets a handball out. Melbourne are clear. The kick goes into the forward pocket and it bounces out on the full. So a free kick to be taken back there by van der Haar. Go back and mind the mark, son. Van der Haar in the back pocket.
Van der Haar's kick to the edge of the square. Huge pack of players, and huge is the operative word because Paul Salmon's dragged it down. Now can Essendon build something on this? Over to Watson, still running despite injured. Thompson, well tackled by Rowe. Heaver, leave it to Heaver, and they do. Heaver, inside 50. Long hand pass. Can Melbourne wrap it up? Jackson, kicks, but only one behind.
Might be an important kick because it's kept the ball down.
He's got another kick.
Another kick, yeah.
With the option of, I guess he'd take it, because he can improve on that. Ricky Jackson, who has kicked 3 goals today.
There's a free against Burns there. Late tackle in the back.
And the clock has been stopped at 1:35. And Jackson pulling up the socks, thinking he's perhaps wasting a little bit.
Kicked 3 goals, Ricky Jackson too.
Good effort, 20 kicks, 24 possessions. This could make the game pretty interesting. He's kicked a goal this time. It's the Jackson 4. 15-16 to 17-12, and it's Melbourne by 8 points in a boil-over.
Well, I think we can say it's all over now, Melbourne. We've called it earlier in the quarter that Essendon had run the match, and there's a free kick again. I don't think Kevin Shute would be too happy with that one. Bad play there because Jackson had already missed, and that made a certainty of that goal from only about 15 metres out.
And now Essendon's got to get 2 goals in the remaining time, which, Bernie, is 1.25 minutes, and well, it's possible. It's a pretty tall order, isn't it?
Oh, it's a pretty tough job from there, Pete.
So we'll have the bounce back in the centre. O'Dwyer and Madden at it again. O'Dwyer goes to ground. Ball comes towards Kickett. Considine trying to force his way through. Kickett has the ball. Umpire has called for a bounce. So again, a few precious seconds being wasted away. It's like Terry Danaher and Earl Spalding saying hello to each other in the muddy centre. Essendon striving hard to get the ball out of that centre. Melbourne hugging it in. And with less than a minute left, It looks like the Demons will defeat Essendon here at Windy Hill.
Defeat them for the second time this year, Robert.
A very important game for Melbourne because they've kept their finals chances alive. The ball up towards centre forward. Safety first. Hughes goes off the ground. Road. Long hand pass. Jackson. Izard out of bounds, and we'll have a throw in with just 30 seconds left. And Melbourne, what a great performance. Gee, it's been an even team effort. Lots of their players have played well.
Grenvold gets the ball from the boundary throw in, doesn't kick it very far. Tingay in front. Mark or free kick, I would have thought. Not so, says the umpire. And the Melbourne players keen to close it up again, and have done that well.
Great effort by Tingay, wasn't that, Bernie?
Great courage. He kept his eye on the ball, backed into the pack. He knew they were coming at him.
There's the siren. Melbourne's won it, kicking 9 goals in the last quarter. Well, kicking 8 goals in the last quarter, but it was good enough to get them the points. The final scoreboard here at Windy Hill, 17-12, 114 to 15-16, 106. A remarkable turnaround. Steve O'Dwyer, hugged by teammates and supporters, and an amazing effort. Paul Salmon may be looking at the scoreboard, as well he might, because Essendon at three-quarter time led by 27 points, and I, along with many others here at the ground, thought that they were pretty close to being home and hosed. But full credit to John Northey and the boys. Bernie, what a great fight.
Yes, tremendous. A win full of character, as we said. Big Steve O'Dwyer started off the game with a flourish in that first set of bounce. He came out of it pretty poorly in the end, blood pouring out of his mouth. But you wouldn't see a better win than that. Melbourne certainly kept their final 5 chances alive. Darren Bennett in that last quarter was magnificent with those 4 goals, kicking 5 for the match.
So there it is, a remarkable turnaround at Windy Hill. Melbourne defeating Essendon, league leaders for the second time this year. 17-12, 114 to the Bombers, 15.